Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to another season. That's right, it's time for Alliance Sim Racing, the V8 Supercars series, back for Season 3, and our first round finishing out 2024 in the same fashion that we finished the last season. It's going to be action aplenty on track here at Watkins Glen tonight as we unleash the cutting-edge Gen 3 Supercars onto tracks this season for the very first time on iRacing. Welcome on back from Simple Racing Broadcast. My name is Jared Cole, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome back to the booth our good friend Dean Biggles Hopton. Biggles, good to have you here, my friend.
Mr. Jared, it is absolutely fantastic to be back, of course, and there's a lot of new things at play, as you mentioned there as well, too. But we're going to have the roar of the V8 Supercars. The V8 engines are going to return louder and prouder than ever, and a brand new season of Supercars with the Gen 3 beasts are unleashed, setting the stage for a year of high octane, well, almost going into the next year, of drama and relentless competition. This season open, of course, will be taking place at Motorsports, one of most motorsports' most iconic backgrounds, the Watkins Glen. The boot, the heel, the toe, under the crisp of the skies of New York State, this legendary track with its high-speed straights, sweeping corners and unforgiving elevation changes, it's ready to test deliver these new next-gen V8 Supercars.
I cannot wait, Biggles. I am so excited, and just as exciting for me, we are welcoming a brand new Simple Racing broadcast team member to the booth tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Josh Harris. Josh, welcome to the booth, my friend.
Thank you, Jared. Very, very exciting to be here tonight. Really exciting to be on the other side. Typically, I find myself behind the steering wheel of these beasts, but really excited to come along and have a bit of a chat to you guys and maybe share some input of how it feels from inside the car and let our viewers get a bit of an understanding about what our drivers are going through and the challenges that they're facing. Because having done a few laps today, I can assure you these cars are difficult to drive around this track. I think, to be fair, they're difficult to drive anywhere, and I am really, really excited to see how these guys go tonight. It is a huge field, close racing, hopefully, and just a very exciting night with these brand new cars for iRacing.
Absolutely good to have you here, my friend. And look, the great thing, Biggles and I often talk about a little bit of, drive analysis, and Biggles often asks me to maybe give a bit of an idea of what it's like to feel these cars when you're behind the wheel. I'm really excited to have you here just because you and I both know you are significantly quicker behind the wheel of a car than I am. Biggles and I have often discussed, let's say, my attempts at keeping pace, but mate, you are genuinely reasonably quick yourself, so I'm looking forward to getting your input as we go through this season on just what it's like around each of these tracks. So lovely to have you along. Biggles, back over to you, mate. Do you want to run us through what tonight looks like in terms of the race format?
Well, good, absolutely question, of course. We're going to have a race one, a little sprint there for 14 laps. Switch that one over there to a 29-lap race two with a reverse top 10. But you have two compulsory pit stops. You're going to head down there and get some full freshies and some splash and dash of gasoline if you choose for. But that'll be our race format, of course, for this fantastic new race season. It's not even the new year yet, but these guys are keen on getting underway here at Alliance Sim Racing.
Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to it. The next round, of course, and we'll talk a little bit about the calendar in just a moment, but the next round isn't for a few weeks. It's only fair to have a bit of a break for Christmas. But the drivers tonight, as we mentioned earlier, a huge field. By my count, we've got 40 drivers here on track this evening. So it is going to be absolutely jam-packed with action. Real potential for carnage, which we don't want to see for round one of the season, but hey, if it makes for some TV, then no problems. We do appear to be jumping into gridding for race one as we speak. There'll be a bit of a race briefing going on there as well, I'm sure. But let's chat just briefly about the grid as it looks, and then we'll jump into the calendar from there. Matt Vanderkraan, last season's winner, our champion, takes pole this evening alongside Dean Logsdale from Team AJR, Jeff Thomas and Jason Spriggs on the second row. Then Anthony Visma, another quick name in the field this evening, alongside Trav Hunt, who's back to perhaps claim a step higher this time around in the championship. Damien Cairns and Jamie McKnight alongside each other. Gary Buckland and Damon Fisher rounding out the top 10, with Michael Schroeder and Stephen Varga, our runner-up in last season's championship, back in 11th and 12th. Further back in the field, we've got Scott Rankin stepping in again tonight alongside Jim Caperonis, James Hardy and Andrew Hoffman in 15th and 16th. Chad Vigor and Dylan Sipple from Quantum Racing and Angry Birds alongside each other there. And then Troy Sipple and Peter Latham rounding out the 20. Dane Nothdurft is back, as is Rick Vigor. Steve Tonkin joins us alongside Scott Perrin. As we move further back through the field, Michael Power is in this evening alongside Reg James returning again tonight. Peter Baxter and Darren Walden lining up alongside each other with Michael Hayes and Peter Sattler behind them. Rob Baxter and Joseph Granshaw, 31st and 32nd. Then John Van Ree and Lucas Burt, Philip Marsh and Craig Rose. And then rounding it out, Anita Buckland and Dave Baldock ahead of Nathan Allen and Mario Rail. Todd Martin, the last to grid this evening. 41 drivers in all. And we will have to wait and see how we go in terms of getting them all onto the grid, because it is a huge field this evening, gents.
Yeah, 40 gladiators, 4 brave souls to take on the Glen, all together on track in a new next-gen car, in a new next generation of iRacing format with debris and stuff tricked all over the place there. Josh, you may be able to give us a little bit quick analysis on that one while the drivers are gridding up there. How difficult has it been of late adjusting to a new car and, of course, a new format of changes in iRacing?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I think probably the first thing to focus on, these new Gen 3 cars are very, very different to the Gen 2. In my opinion, slightly easier to drive, a little bit more manageable, but still a real beast of a car. No traction control, no ABS, massive power, not enough tyre. We will see drivers really struggling tonight. And of course, with this new debris model in iRacing, debris remains on the track far longer than it ever has. So when we do see the cars go off track, they will bring grass and mud back on with them. And of course, if they happen to be in the sand, we're going to see sand and gravel all over the track. And unlike in the past, where that just disappeared, a part of computer games or simulators, that debris that appeared on track disappeared and didn't affect you. It really does affect you now, and I can assure you from a race I did a couple of days ago, arriving at Skyline at Bathurst to a whole heap of gravel across the track, really opens your eyes. It gets your attention very, very quickly. And I think, especially this first race tonight, as these guys get their head around these cars, understand exactly how they, what they can do and what they can't, really start to push those limits, I think we're going to see a pretty dirty track pretty quickly.
It's a lot to play for tonight. Hopefully we've got enough time. No, looking at what we're gridding up here, I think we're getting very close to the start. We will come back between races to have a chat about the upcoming calendar. But all of those improvements from iRacing this time around are going to bring a whole range of different driving challenges to this series. But if anyone's up for it, it is this field. We have some absolutely fantastic drivers here with us tonight. I'm with you, Simon Haynes, in the chat there. I am looking forward to hearing this whole field blasting fire for the very first time. We've heard 1 or 2 cars in the practice rounds. As we get ready to go for race 1, this is season number 3. We're getting underway right now. The cars are away. Oh, big stall off the line. That looks like Jeff Thomas off the line, who struggled there. We've got some issues down the back as well. There's carnage immediately. We've got 3 cars into the wall. They're bouncing back into traffic. This is going to be mayhem. Absolute mayhem off the line.
Yeah, we're not even into turn 1. We're not even into turn 1. And we've already had a massive wreck of about at least 5 or 6 cars have been itching to go on these Gen 3s already. But that's it, my friend. I don't think going to be calling a safety car on this one. It's green, green, green. Manny's still in the lead there from Jason. We saw Jeff Thomas bogged down, and that was the orange number 28 machine, and he's done P5.
Really what that looked like to me, gents, these things super hard to get off the line, and once you do get them started, the top of first gear really erupts into wheel spin, and it just looked to me like a bunch of guys got caught out by that throughout the field, and once 1 or 2 start spinning, it's all over. With such a huge grid and really condensed gridding, you have one car go around at the front, and before you know it, there's cars everywhere, unfortunately.
So out of all of that mess, and here we go, Nathan Allen is out of the pits in the GT3 safety car, supported of course this evening and for this season by our 24/7 race control. But we are going to safety car, and that is not at all surprising after that start. Yeah.
He's sitting in pit lane at the moment. No, I'm not quite sure if it has been called. I believe so. He's just sitting there at the moment. He hasn't exited pit road yet. Yes, to be able to catch the pack. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're talking about Peter Baxter, Michael Power, Philip Marsh. I'm thinking also Jim. We're looking at Reg James, Nathan Allen. There's quite a few drivers here that were involved in that first corner carnage. Well, actually, not even into the first corner carnage. That's main straightaway carnage. And just exactly what Josh Harris had said, these new next-gen V8s are tricky to get off the line.
Absolutely. But in amongst all of that, have a look who's out in front. Last season's champion, Matt Vanderkraan. Not surprised in the slightest to see that he is out there making the most of it right off the start. Just a huge catastrophe. Oh, cars
we got
There's
the picture-in-picture as well, too. I can actually show you the safety car slowing down the track, piloted by Nathan Allen. There it is. So he's just waiting for that pack. Oh, I love this simple way. It's not so simple. It's quite fantastically complex broadcasting network, but you make it in a simple fashion as well, everybody in the chat. Well, we got 2 or 3 corners of racing done, and the caution has been called. It gives us a chance to chat about the season, doesn't it, and what's going to happen and how everything's panning out.
It does. Before we do that, we'll keep an eye on the field behind the safety car there in the inset, but let's go back and have a look at some of those incidents right from the beginning, because that was just crazy all around. Peter Baxter, the first one to really cop the hit, along with Phil Marsh caught up in it somewhere as well. So down
look at this stationary green car gets hit.
Big stall. That's car number 25. So that is, I'm not familiar with the livery. I've got to catch up with all of these drivers that have joined us for this season.
Car number 23, did you say so?
I may have.
Yeah. This is the carnage up the road too. Remember, this is still the straightaway. They're just past the start-finish line. Josh, you'd imagine, like, they bogged down. Of course, we can probably keep an eye on that, but they just completely bogged down. Like, you're learning how to drive for the first time. It's not. It's just so much power, isn't it? Wheel spins just kicking through the roof.
Yeah. Look,
Marsh off the line.
I think that all these drivers know that you can't, it's not a GT3 car, right? You can't just hold your foot in the throttle and drop the clutch. You're just going to get a heap of wheel spin. But what catches us out really, really quickly is right at the top of first gear, they just get a whole heap of wheel spin all over again. And before you know it, you're facing backwards like that, unfortunately.
In Latham, unfortunate to just get collected there. We'll go back and take another quick look at that. Because he had nowhere to go. Their car just came across in front of him. There it is, spins him around. And Michael Schroeder getting caught up as well. Just absolute carnage everywhere. These guys coming back across the track here.
Yeah, they're pinballing, my friend, because there's not much of a runoff area, and the high speed they're doing once they're launched. It's just, there's not much of a kitty litter, as you mentioned. There's no runoff area. It's all going straight, of course, and they're just pinballing off each other. And if you're back at that, but that comes back down once again, and I've said this over and over again, and Josh will be like going, easy said than done. Qualify at the front, you don't have to worry about that at the back.
Well, look, not every time, right?
That's why qualifying is important. I mean, some people go like, I do oval race, and they go qualify, and half the drivers don't even qualify, and they're just slice and dice with the field. That's fine in oval races, gentlemen, but in road courses, qualifying is very important, because there's a big wreck, as you just saw there in midfield, and this is just getting off the line. Well, unfortunately, for at least half a dozen of those drivers, there's nowhere to go. We're seeing some drivers. So the safety cars in the pit road, we should get ready to go green flag there, Jared.
With control of Matt Vanderkraan, he's waiting out front. Let's see what sort of a jump he can get himself here. It's his any time from turn 10 onwards as we approach the control line. When's he going to pull the trigger here? And does he have the confidence in the traction of these tyres to get us back underway and get a jump? Away he goes, and he does get a good jump on Spriggs. We see the JWN entry of Jeff Thomas
goes
into
in
the pits as well. But we are under green flag racing again, and there's a whole lot of movement further back in the pack as well. Everyone coming past, of course, Thomas. But Vanderkraan off and away, leading us down to the back straight here at Watkins Glen. What a fantastic start to this season. Just chaos off the line.
Not for Dylan, but unfortunately Dylan's into the kitty litter somewhere into turn 1, so eventually managed to get around there this time. But Dylan Simple is down at 32, 33. He's got some big damage there on that Ford Mustang. He's crab walking here, and he's just past the pit lane entrance, so he's going to have to tow back. That's going to cost him a ton of time.
Long drive back if he is going to try and make it around.
He can't
Bit
make
of movement
it, mate. No,
here as well, but yeah, it's going to be going to be an absolutely massive couple of laps here as everyone tries to settle into some kind of rhythm. The nerves will be very, very high, of course, as these drivers just start to come to grips with the Gen3 cars. Your camera again, mate, it's fine. It's in good condition, I promise you. As always.
He says it every time, Josh Harris. You get to put up this season, of course. my GoPro camera. All right, so keep an eye on Damien at the moment. Ken's on the back there of Damien Fisher. So Damien and Damon, that's not a law firm. That is drivers in P6 and P7 currently at the moment in our first race of the season here for the V8 Gen 3s that seem to me, as Josh Harris had confirmed, are a handle. They're a lot to handle, isn't it? It's like a kitchen sink on wheels.
Absolutely. We've got a few battles going on throughout as the field starts to separate out into really almost just a few small battle packs. We'll take a look a little bit further back, and we've got a couple of the Quantum boys here, Hardy and Sipple, back in 11th and 12th, just looking at the back of Scott Rankin up ahead in the Castrol entry. We've got Gary Buckland in the new livery there, which I'm not sure is his full season livery. A lot of these guys, of course, these cars are only out for, what, a week now, gents? So not necessarily a whole lot of time to get these liveries done, but the Quantum guys have pushed hard to have theirs ready to go tonight, and they look absolutely spectacular, as do the Angry Birds entries that you'll see getting around with the Kumo tyres.
Oh, into the fence goes Anthony, and I don't know if you see the picture of Travis Hunt, who's going to be able to hunt him down at the moment. Travis Hunt's at the fastest lap. This is a man, of course, that run about third in the championship now. He's hunting Anthony up the road there in P4, who did have a big, nasty tank slipper for the Abbey Timber number 6 machine up the road. And he's only a little bit further down there from the Dean of Deans there. That's the proper Dean, and number 3rd position there, 141. And he's behind Jason. This is still the lead from up the lead. And Matty Vanderkraan, last season's champion, in the lead. But I'll tell you what, he's got a gaggle of pressure right now behind him.
Isn't this a difference from the Vanderkraan we're used to seeing in the previous season of Supercars? By this stage, 4 laps in, there are a lot of races there. You and I, Biggles, were seeing him 5-6 seconds up the road. This time around, Jason Spriggs, Dean Logsdale, Anthony Visma, Travis Hunt, all right on his tail. Now, is that because Vanderkraan's just taking it easy and getting used to the car, or is it a real rebalancing for these drivers as they all start to come to terms with a completely new car to deal with this season?
Yeah, Josh, that's one for you, mate. As you know, as a racing driver, even a champion like Matty, what does it come down to? Experience and time to get to know these new cars?
Yeah, look, I think so, but also it's worth noting that these cars are probably what most people would consider more drivable than the old Gen 2s. So there were some guys in those old Gen 2s. They were super fast. They were really, really impressive drivers. They understood those cars as they were. These ones a little bit more docile, just like the real world. Less reliant on downforce, more reliant on just some good quality, smooth driving, but ever so slightly in the iRacing world to drive than the old Gen 2s. So maybe just a couple of those guys able to get back up onto the back of Vanderkraan and keep him a bit more honest.
We were talking earlier about the pace of these drivers. Either of you happen to have on hand what Kostecki's time was?
Yeah, I do. It was, I believe, a 46.5 was Brody Kostecki's times today, and we saw our fastest guys today in this lobby doing 47.0. So we're certainly talking about some really, really fast guys. Pretty impressive, I've got to say. I cut some laps today, and look, I got into the 48s, but I certainly didn't get into the 47s, and nowhere near a 47.
Well, come on, Josh, get on with it, mate. You're quite capable. You're a quick driver. Of course, it is very difficult there, Josh. We appreciate that. There was a bit of a battle there with Peter Sattler. Rick Vergara, I think, might have just got past that. It's about all the way back to
comes Scott Rankin. Have a look at the big look
Scott
up the
Rankin,
inside there.
Yes.
That's Vargsy ahead of him. Our second place in the championship last season rather, not last year. We're not into 2025 just yet. But Varga is getting all sorts of pressure from Rankin right behind him. Now, we were having a bit of a chat with the league admins a little earlier on, and word is that some of these guys, in the week that these cars have been out, have already put in excess of 800 practice laps to get ready for the start of this season. And I tell you what, it is showing tonight. The times we're seeing here as these guys come around, not even at qualifying pace yet, and we're already seeing best lap times in the 147s and dropping.
I can't wait till iRacing introduce the AI there and randomly generate a track that drivers have to do with zero practice. That'll be a lot of fun. Or at least an hour's
You're a
practice that's
cruel
coming
man,
in the
Nichols.
future.
You're a cruel
Oh,
man.
yeah. You can practice a track like the back of your hand, like do it blindfolded, but throw all these drivers on even machines out there and give them the same amount of time to practice for a track. That's going to show you true driver awareness. But let's not throw one yet. They've got a new car to learn at the
Comes
moment. They've got new
Damien Cairns
debris.
past Damon Fish on the
Damien Cairns.
inside. Can he hold it?
Yeah.
The Accelerate Sim Racing entry takes him through the corner there. Now, we should talk about the rule changes that have happened for this season as well. Gents, there are rules to this racing gig, as we see Fisher and McKnight swapping places as well, side by side out of the corner.
Not yet,
Cairns
mate.
will be happy to
Not
get clear
yet.
of that. Now, the rule changes for this season are very, very simple. Any overlap at all, and both these drivers must give room through the corner. There's no B pillar, there's no three-quarter rule. Basically, if your nose is anywhere past the rear bar of the car you're trying to overtake, then both of those cars must give each other room through a corner.
That could be debated for now, like it is in Formula 1.
I do not envy
Jamie McKnight at the moment has to be looking at that rule to be debated, because look, what's a gaggle of car behind him. Damon Fisher, Stephen Varghese, and Scott Ranklin all are looking to test this new rule theory, of course, and we have to respect the stewards. They're going to be looking at this too for now. Their word is final. They're going to look at that one for sure. So let's see whether they're not going to start testing that rule there, gentlemen.
Something to keep an eye on. There's a bit of contact with the wall there as well, coming through that last turn. Jamie McKnight starting to pull away from the group behind, just giving himself a little bit of breathing room. But take a look at Damon Fisher, Stephen Varga, almost side by side into turn one. And of course, Scott Rankin right on their tail as well. These guys are pushing hard in the battle for sixth at this point.
When's the last time you heard this? Yeah, Josh Harris, when's the last time you heard these culprits here? All battling on track again. Hasn't even taken long for the new season, has it? They're already out.
Look, the cream always rises to the top. Yeah, it's early in race one, and straight away we're seeing some really, really good racing up the front. It's really exciting to see.
Yeah, you're going to see three wide
Rankin
almost into the
pushes
corner.
through. Look at him making the move. Scott Rankin through on Stephen Varga. Varga's got no answer to it right now. Let's see if he can do a little bit of over-under here and take that place back. But as it stands, Stephen Varga back into 10th. Matt Vanderkraan sneaking away up front. Halfway point of this race, 1.5 seconds out on Jason Spriggs. He's starting to bring back that Vanderkraan form from last season, Biggles.
He's trying. Matty's trying desperately to get away from the rest of the field there, but Jason has been keeping it honest. Dean's been keeping it honest. Anthony's been keeping it honest. Then you got to have a gap down to Travis Hunt, which I'm surprised hasn't caught the rest of that top four just yet. But he's driving on his own. He's got Damon Cairns for company. But further on is this battle you're currently seeing at the moment in your pictures. That's still, well, as you say, you're looking at that picture further up there as well. And that's kind of where the action's at. We had a little bit of a moment, I think, with John Van Der Ray. See, we have 40 drivers out there, everybody tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm not going to do my Santa that I did in the green room earlier. But this is it. The final race of the year. Not the final race, it's the first race of the season. So get your predictions out there right now, because we have 2 heat races too. Don't forget, we have another one coming up after this. But we are 8 of 14 halfway through.
Absolutely. And hey, while we're talking about the broadcast, just a big shout out to a couple of the drivers from last season who are joining us out in YouTube chatland tonight. We've got Simon Haynes out there, and a big shout out for...
Sorry to cut you off. Keep an eye on Bugsy Fisher as well too. They're going to be side by side, mate. Go ahead.
So Sean Van Meulen is
Yep.
in the chat. No, mate, you're right. Sean Van Meulen in the chat, recovering from some surgery this week, so unfortunately not able to join us for the first race of the season. Sean, I hope you're looking after yourself, and I hope the other half is taking good care of you, but not making you lazy at the same time, mate. Harry Dodds, a question in the chat. Is there a link to your Discord somewhere? There is not currently, Harry. It is invite only at this stage. The league is full for this season, but keep up with the broadcast as we approach the end of season. We'll be talking to you about how to express your interest to get involved in season 4 here with Alliance Sim Racing.
Troy Sipple and Stevie, Andrew Hoffman, my friend, side by side, as you mentioned, of course, yes. Good,
here we go, side by side.
Can't fit any more cars on the track, but they keep
no, absolutely can't. And the other thing, while we talk about rule changes, 2 rounds of getting used to this. But from what I understand, from round 3, collisions will actually be turned on in pit lane.
What?
You heard it right.
Wow, that's a big boy club right there. Most leagues do not do that, and because it's difficult. Geez, they can't even get it right in real world. So that'll
We are
be
going
super interesting.
absolute
Keep an
realism,
eye on the
mate.
battle for P2 at the moment. Maddie, they're starting to get lap traffic as well too, but Jason and Dean, two for now, and Anthony. This is a battle for, really, all battle for P2. You can see on your timing tower, they're in the orange. That means they're in the danger zone.
Absolutely, they are. We've had a crash further back. Peter Baxter's gone off and Jim Caperonis as well. Further back in the field. And we'll take a quick look and just make sure both of those guys are okay. Have they come together? Or are these two separate incidents?
Oh,
There it is, just a little bit of
I was
contact.
going to ask Josh about that one, isn't he? When you hit the chicane, of course, the car's going to slide, isn't it? They got to wait patiently. Have you been through that situation before, Josh, when you've had a little bit of a moment, a spinneroo, and you got a ton of cars waiting to go around you, you've just got to sit there patiently and say, oh, no.
Yeah,
You're probably
it's gotta
fuming,
be-
aren't you, at the cockpit?
Yeah, look, and it's got to be the hardest thing about racing. You know, you're racing hard with someone, and they make a mistake. And to be fair, you know, all of us drivers, we've all made mistakes. I've turned guys around before. I've turned my own teammate around once or twice, and you know, it's a huge disappointment, and you just have to get rid of that red mist. And it doesn't matter whether you're the spinner or the spinnee. You've just got to take a big deep breath, make sure that you've got a bit of space on the track, and just get back to it. But it can be really, really difficult and really disappointing watching everyone drive past, that's for sure.
Watching Walden and Granshaw here battling it out for P19. This is the great thing about this league. We've got battles right up and down the field that we've got to try and keep an eye on. Everyone's starting to space out a little out the front. This is lap 9, so we're getting there. Damien Cairns now making a move on Jamie McKnight. This is the battle for 6. So,
Jamie wants it back too, big time. Jamie says, "You're not a knight there, Mr. Cairns. I'm a knight. My name is Jamie, and I'm the 027 machine there. Vargas is also on the back there of Scott Rankin. We also have Gary Buckland on the back there of Damon Fisher, as you can see on your timing tower. That's where the closest battles are, of course, as you mentioned, a little bit further back down, 27th, 28th place. We do have no pit stops on this one. This is going to be a sprint race, so they should make their way to lap 14. Although Josh did say, and it's going to be crucial, in the next race, tires, right, Josh? How important are they? Well, apart from keeping the car to the road.
Yeah, super easy to burn the tyres off in these cars, but thankfully, just like in real life, these Gen3 Supercars tyre changes are super quick. So it's about 9 seconds for all 4 tyres. I'm not sure, I haven't looked closely enough at the regs to know whether these guys need to do a splash and dash for fuel, but what we do know, tyres won't take that long, so it's into the pit road, real quick service for tyres, and straight back out and racing again, which will be really exciting.
Looks like, Jared, that they get those little Italian guys in the Cars movie to go
all over
and
it.
done.
All over
That's
it,
what
mate.
it's all about, yes.
Hey, Gary Buckland looking for a move here on Damon Fisher as well, really putting the pressure on that very, very good-looking NZ entry. It'll be interesting to see how these liveries evolve over the next couple of weeks as people do get their team liveries sorted out. But for now, there's some fantastic ones out there on track.
That there is, and add that to chat. Please shout out there if we get a chance to a break in the action. We'll probably flick over there for fan boost there and show anybody's livery you want to have a look at. As we will do that. I'm sure Jared will be kind enough to do that if there's time, of course, in the break away from the action, which there may not be at some points because we do have 40 gladiators out there. Anthony's chasing Jason too for P2. As Muddy started to pull away a little bit. This is very, very spicy and dicey too. So it's going to be interesting to see a 2-second gap to P2. But at the moment, Jason's trying to hold off Anthony, who's put the pressure down. And I can't pronounce his surname. I do apologize. Number 6 machine.
Not
Anthony
only
Visma.
Sorry, go ahead and repeat that one.
Yeah, not only is there a 2-second gap out to second, but we're starting to see the first bit of lap traffic. So
That's correct.
The guys
Yeah.
can navigate that now, and there's no additional carnage caused.
Joshy knows the left traffic. Here we go. Setting it up the inside, says, I'm going to commit to this corner at this point. You have to, don't you there, Jared? And they look like they're in similar liveries, so probably similar teammates. It's going to be interesting because look at Dean. He's not too far down there, and any driver with a name of Dean's got to be a quick driver. I'd say Dean. I'm pretty sure.
Got to be
he's quick,
pretty
aren't you,
decent,
mate?
you reckon?
Yeah, he's pretty decent there, aren't you, Dean? Come on there, 147 machine. He's hunting down a potential podium position, but he's only got 3 laps to go if he wants to get it.
Been right on board here, of course, with Matt Vanderkraan out in front, now extending that lead to 3 seconds. It looks as though he's looking to make a statement here in round 1, just like he did most of last season. But tell you what, 3 seconds gap over 14 laps, not to be trifled with. I think we might have an early favourite if you are a betting man, or woman for that matter, just looking for a potential
what about my dog
season
watching?
champion.
He loves to bet.
Sure.
He pushes his little button that says, I bet on red or black. He's going to bet on NVDK.
As he comes around to finish that lap for us. Matty Vanderkraan absolutely flying here tonight.
Josh, you had something to input from a racing driver. We have Josh, luckily, here in the booth with Josh Harris, a racing driver, not out there. He must be frustrated, actually, to not be out there in the field here, but we are actually honoured to have you in the booth.
No, look, it's exciting to do something different. I got my own racing to do, and I am excited for it, but I am certainly not going to be competing with these guys. They make me look very, very amateurish, so just excited to share my thoughts. And what I can tell you, we watched Dean get up on the back of second and third and really fighting for that podium position, and I can assure you that these cars, it might be one thing to catch the cars in front. It is a totally different world to get a pass.
Keep an eye on this one a moment, mate. Scotty and Stephen Bargsy are going for it. Scotty's going to send up the inside there. I'm not quite sure. You got the Battle of Buckland going on too. That's just behind him as well. That's just to give you an idea how many battles that are going on.
So much going on, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now Rankin,
Scotty gets past Bugsy and switching all the way around there. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rankin's taken Varg's back. Vargas had just overtaken Rankin, and Rankin said, no thank you, I'll keep that spot, and he's taken that one back. Now Buckland and Fisher just off the back have got their own little battle going on, but they're close enough that we're going to pick them up in our battle box as well. So that's all coming together. The rest of the field's starting to space out a little bit, but probably just about the biggest space in that top 15 is actually from Vanderkraan out in first to Anthony Visma in second. He is schooling everybody so far in Heat 1 this evening.
It'll be about slicing and dicing through that traffic that you mentioned there, Josh Harris, because it will play a difference because they're blue flag traffic. It's not multi-class racing where you're going to be catching a GT3 where you're in a hypercar all of a sudden, which I did earlier today. But, in this case, it's still, blue flags cars. And just to elaborate there, Josh, with the blue flag rules there, if you're going to get lapped, do the blue flag drivers have to pull out of the way, or they stick to their racing line and allow the other quicker drivers to get past them predictably? I don't know how it all pans out, blue flags here.
It's a little bit of both. So if you are shown the blue flag, you are absolutely expected to allow the people behind to pass, but it's important that you do that safely. So you stick to your racing line, and at a point that you find that it is safe, you pull over and just roll out of the throttle and let those guys pass. And of course, super important if you are the faster car and you're trying to get through, just because the car in front's being waved blue flags does not give you the right to drive through them. So sometimes you will have to just hold it for a corner or two and allow that slower car to find that safe spot and move out of the way.
So we see this battle continuing. Jason Spriggs and Dean Logsdale going at it for P3. And it doesn't seem like Logsdale can quite get the run he needs here to close that half-second gap. He's been threatening for a little while now, but he's starting to run out of time. We're about to hit the last lap here as Matt Vanderkraan out in front, just about to complete lap number 13. I'll tell you what, if this is a setup for race number 2, I just don't even know what to expect. A couple of pit stops in there as well, 29 laps. We know Vanderkraan likes to jump in a pit early, and I'm sure he'll tell us that. And we chat to him post-race here if he stays up in P1 as he's looking to do. But it's going to be a very, very busy start to Season 3 here with Alliance Sim Racing.
Yeah, keep an eye on and there's also a big battle brewing between Scott Rankin there, P8 for 9th, with Vargsy in 9th trying to get past. And he may be able to get past. He got a good run here at the moment, running out of time, of course. We're on the final lap of this race as Matty's already down the road. Inside there from Vargsy. And he's got a little trolley well, door banging. But this is important to the reverse grid because these guys are going to be up front. That'll be super interesting. And there's Matty going to navigate all that traffic there. So here it is right now. And it looks like Vargsy had got the job done on Scotty. And Vargsy, remember, finished second in the championship before. is getting the job done and getting to know the other drivers. And not
Saw
in
this
the way
last
of
lap,
getting
though.
away.
This is where he took Rankin last lap, and Rankin had him back by the end of this straight. So keep an eye on this
We won't
battle.
have
It's
time
not
now
done
because
yet.
it's the last lap. Yeah, you might
Here
be
comes
right,
Scott
actually.
Rankin,
Could
though.
get him.
He's closing it down to 1,500th of a second and closing down the straight. Is Rankin going to go
Josh,
for the
what would
dive
you
here?
do, mate, if you were the driver right now and you know where you can situations in the track where it's switcheroo? What are you going to do? Commit? Do you give it the position up? A little bit of a lift, actually. Scott Rankin's going to run wide. Bugsy
Run
will have
very
this. I
wide.
think it's a day late, dollar short now for Scotty to try to get anything done there. What would you do, Josh?
Yeah, look, I think that what happened there shows just how hard these cars are to pass in. So you've got to make a huge commitment to get the pass done. You've got no ABS to rely on. It's all about brake management and making sure that you don't clatter into the door of the car in front. And I think that it's a real credit to these guys how clean the racing's been because, they're doing a stellar job. But really,
Commentator's
these cars,
curse comes out. Chad Vigar and Joseph Granshaw, as you say that, have crashed in backfield. We'll go back and take a look at that in just a second. Congratulations, Josh Harris. You are
No, you
absolutely
didn't
a member of
commentate
the
against
team
them.
now.
You're okay. You're off the hook there, Josh. We're talking about somebody else at the time. We might be talking about our race leader at the moment of Matt Vanderkran, who's used to the camera pointing at him. He's got a couple corners to go. This man's going to take heat one of the new season. He's not going to go bowling anywhere. He's going to go rolling his way into the victory of heat one, and he's back on top. That's MVDK.
What a start to season number 3 for Vanderkran, showing these guys how it's done. Anthony Visma, though, not far at all behind, a couple of seconds back. Jason Spriggs and Dean Logsdale as well. We'll take a look at the results in just a moment as we wait for the rest to cross the line. But Matt Vanderkran, a fantastic finish. As we take a look a bit further back through the field. Still a couple of battles to go back there. Jeff Thomas just going at it. And is he going to get past Granshaw? Sorry, Baldock now. He's gotten past Dave Baldock. Picks up an extra position there for JWM Simsport. Just a handy extra couple of points there. All the way back in P26, but battles all the way to the line. What a set of results. Josh Harris, your first time seeing the ASR V8 series in full flight and live. Tell us about it. How are you feeling right about now?
I think that impressed is the only word, to be honest. Some really, really good racing. And as we saw there with Jeff Thomas at the end, it's not just good racing out the front. 40 cars on track and some really, really fantastic racing from start to finish. These guys have put together an awesome league and an awesome bunch of drivers. And to be honest, I reckon I've got the best seat in the house here tonight, so I'm absolutely stoked. Don't worry about it being out on track. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the battles because this is really exciting, and I can't wait for a longer race and a couple of pit stops thrown in and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be stellar.
You can't retire yet, mate. You still got the racing bug in your system at the moment. You're not Daniel. Even Daniel Ricciardo is young to retire, or I believe he's going to NASCAR, which I said a couple of years ago should have went to. But that's another situation. We're going to have a short little break so we can recap this one. Jared, I believe you wanted to chat to some of these drivers too, as we see those results
just
from
wait
Heat
for
1.
them to get on out of the cars and get ready to join us here in the broadcast booth. But Matt Vanderkran taking the win ahead of Anthony Visma. Jason Spriggs, third step this evening. Dean Logsdale just behind in P4. Travis Hunt showing up at the front of the field again. And before we go any further down, this seems like we've not even left Season 2. Matt Vanderkran, welcome back to the booth, my friend. How are you?
Excellent. Nice to be back.
Well, good to see you back. What a way to start Season 3 for you. We were taking bets early on as to just how your drive was going to go. It looked like you were really still being held to account by the couple of drivers behind you, but starting to show a little bit of that old Vanderkran form and pulling away to put a couple seconds of them. How are you feeling after race 1 in these new Gen 3 Supercars?
Yeah, mate, I'm really happy with that. It was just a good, solid drive. I didn't want to burn up the tyres early, so I tried to conserve as much as I could. There's some really good new drivers in this league, and there's a couple more to come. So it's going to be awesome fun this year because there's some really fast guys.
Already seeing a few names that I recognise from around iRacing. And I think you can have your work cut out for you. I don't think I'd be expecting any of those 11-second gaps to P2 like we saw last season, mate. How are you planning to maintain your stranglehold on this championship?
just consistent driving, mate. You know, just keep my head down. Don't do anything silly. Like the next race now is a reverse top 10 grid.
Yeah.
I'm buggered if I know what I'm going to do here. I might get up to my old tricks of pitting early, I reckon, but
yeah,
really
you called it. Sorry, Jared called it there. Matty,
Respect
I think as well too. Josh has called this one. It's one you didn't have this problem being up front, mate, but it's one thing to catch, another thing to overtake, right? Josh, you were saying, Matty, now you're in the reverse top 10 grid. You're going to have to overtake a bunch of cars, 9 of them at least, to get back in the lead. Do you think the pit stops are going to be the only thing to help you? Because at some point you're going to have to overtake somebody.
Well, if I overtake someone, it'll be the first time I've done it in this car. So it's look, it'll be a strategy of both. I don't know whether pitting early with such a big field, it's a big risk. But anyway, I might stick it out there for a while unless it's silly slow, and then I'll jump in if I'm being held up heaps. But otherwise, it'll be good fun to have some racing.
So, well, Matt Vanderkraan, your first win under the belt for Season 3 here with Alliance Sim Racing. Let's see if we're chatting to you again in not too long for race number 2. Best of luck in the reverse top 10, my friend.
Cheers, boys. Great to have you back.
Always a pleasure.
Which will be interesting as well too. You're going to have the likes there of who was battling there earlier. I think that's I can't even remember. Bugsy and stuff like that going to be starting around the pole position too on this one. You can see currently at the moment Steve Varga and Scott Rankin. Remember they're going for it. Gary will be on pole for Old Mate and Sons. Now, Josh, I mean, we know Matty's full of confidence because he's champion, right? And why not? He's like, okay. Do you think that the drivers have gotten that little book of rules there of how to win a championship there from Matty and said, well, pitting early is the strategy? Do you think anybody else is going to take a page out of his book and copy the same strategy coming to this new season?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You know, the undercut's a genuine thing in racing, and being able to dive in and get yourself some clean air is massively important thing in these cars. Like I alluded to in that race, you know, these cars, it's one thing to catch, it's a very different thing to pass. I spent a bit of time in a practice race last night in behind a couple of cars, and you know, I was somewhere about a half a second a lap quicker, but it took me 4 or 5 laps just to get the run. It's not just about being faster, getting to a corner and bombing down the inside. You've really got to have some racecraft. You've got to plan your moves. You've got to know what corner you're going to be able to do it. And not only that, but you have to be able to get the exit off the corner in front. It's very, very easy to defend in these cars. If you know where you're weak, get a better exit at the corner before and just remove that weakness. So I think for everybody, we're really going to see some really good racing. But once we do see those passes affected, we'll see those guys that are quicker just start to drive off. So it is good in these cars. We get some fantastic racing, but you really get that reward. You know, you get that pass executed, and it's a big sigh of relief. And provided that you can keep the car on the track, you really just start to drive away, and you can set your focus, set your sights on the next car up the road, and get up there and run them down too.
Drivers just finishing their cool downs between races. We're about to start gridding up for race number 2. Hope you're enjoying the coverage tonight out there in YouTube land. This is, of course, Alliance Sim Racing, the V8 Supercars series here with the Gen 3 Supercars, the very first time ever in iRacing. We are here for Season 3 of this fantastic championship, and of course proudly presented to you as always by Simple Racing Broadcasts. Now, big shout out to our sponsors for this season, of course, Quantum Tinting Solutions back on board, as is West Automotive as our primary sponsors, and of course further support from Nicol Photography and 24/7 Sim Services this evening. So do make sure you give them a shout if you're looking for assistance with your racing event. We see everyone starting to grid back up now. Let's take a look at the grid for this race. Gary Buckland, of course, on pole with Scott Rankin alongside. Now, that's a great opportunity for Rankin to start to put some distance out in front. Stephen Varga, of course, in P3 will be looking to do the same alongside Damien Cairns. Then Jamie McKnight and Trav Hunt, Dean Logsdale and Jason Spriggs, Anthony Visma and Matt Vanderkraan rounding out the top 10. G'day, Brett. Welcome back to the chat. Damon Fisher and James Hardy in 11th and 12th as we go to the grid. As we get ready for the start of this race. Taking a look a little further back through the grid for race number 2, we have Dane Nothurft and Andrew Hoffman. We've got Troy Sipple in 15th alongside Steve Tonkin, then Rick Vigo and Peter Sattler as well. Darren Walden and Peter Latham with Michael Power and Jim Capronis behind them. Chad Vigo and Michael Hayes starting a little further back through the field with Joseph Granshaw and Jeff Thomas right behind them. Dave Baldock and Anita Buckland heading up ahead of Peter Baxter and Craig Rose rounding out the 30. And we wait for a few more cars to get on the grid before we get underway. Phil Marsh and Lucas Burt, not the best start to their season, but looking to make up for that in race number 2 tonight, as will be John Van Ree and Dylan Sipple. Michael Schroeder and Reg James a little further back in the field as well. So 36 entries for race number 2. This is just huge. We're actually waiting on a few more to jump in the back as well.
Late breaking news out of the YouTube chat too, Jared. Jamie McKnight, pretty fresh out of a jaw operation and had a fantastic race 1, but unfortunately needs to sit out race 2.
And fair enough too. It's got to be intense in a field like this for this evening. It's got to be pretty full on out there, and these guys don't muck around with their sim gear either. Good to have you along for the first race, Jamie, and here's hoping that you've got a bit of recovery ahead of you before race number 2 next week. So we wait for the last of these drivers to grid. We will talk just for a moment as we wait on those last drivers very quickly about the calendar that we've got ahead of us here. And after Watkins Glen, we're going to Brands Hatch for round 2 on the 7th of January. Then Magny Corps, Nürburgring in round 4 will be the Enduro round for this season, followed by Belle Isle and Okayama. Then we go to Snetterton, Red Bull Ring, Sandown, and this season finishing at Phillip Island on the 4th of March. So a whole lot of fantastic racing ahead over these 10 weeks, with a few gaps here and there, thanks to things like, Christmas and all that sort of stuff. In the chat, Brett Fisher, jaw-dropping race 1. Look, I hope it hasn't dropped, Jamie, because that suggests that surgery hasn't gone quite as we'd hoped, eh? So we're going to have a bit of a gap on the grid there in P5. That'll be Jamie McKnight. We're waiting on Matt Vanderkraan in P10. He's just jumped onto the grid now. We should be getting very close to going underway here for race number 2. A few entries that haven't made it to the grid just yet, because I'm going to let you take this one away as we start to get ready for race number 2 this evening. Oh no, have we lost Biggles? I hope not. We may have. There we go. Sorry, we have. He'll be back with us just a moment. I was really hoping, Josh, that we could get a little break in there, but we'll stick with it. I see you're showing up in chat as well, mate. Nice to see you getting in amongst it as well this evening. Look,
we'll put a cat amongst the pigeons, eh?
Yeah, why not? Why not? We're waiting on these guys just getting themselves sorted. Stick with us here, folks. We're just about ready to get underway for race number 2. The lights come up. Oh, very careful there, Gary Buckland. And they're away. Race number 2, 29 laps. Off we go. Stephen Varga off to a fantastic start. He's looking to pull out in front. But have a look at Scott Rankin, already putting the gap out in front. He's taken full advantage of that. Trav Hunt there as well, starting to push through early. And that is the key here for these reverse grids. Get through that top 10 and establish yourself out in front. 2 compulsory pit stops, of course, in this 29 lap race. So let's see how it all plays out from here. Josh Harris, talk to us about race starts in these V8s. Just how hard are these things to get off the line compared to the Gen 2s?
Look, I'd say that compared to the Gen 2s, that they're reasonably similar. So for our veteran V8 drivers in the field, they're going to be something that they're reasonably used to. For people who have jumped into these Gen 3s as something a bit new, it's a pretty wild beast. So a little bit of clutch slip, but then a huge amount of power coming on at the top of the revs, and really hard to start. But importantly, such a good opportunity at the start of these races to grab some position. So everyone's going to be hustling hard. Cold tyres makes these things even more difficult to drive. But now, this first 1 or 2 laps, this is the opportunity to snare yourself a couple of positions that you'd have to fight really, really hard for as the race goes on.
There's not as much adjustability in these cars either compared to the Gen 2s, is there? It's
absolutely
really
not.
Brake bias, and that's about it when you're out on track.
Yep, there is a throttle mapping that you can do, so you can change how how ramped or linear the throttle pedal is in its application. But other than that, as you said, brake bias. So just like in the real world, all those anti-roll bar adjustments that we had in Gen 2, that's all gone when you're out on track. You know, you get what you get. You get out on track and you fight with it. If it's good, it's good, and if it's not so good, I guess you've got a long day ahead. And surprisingly, first cars diving into pits already. That's a really, really early pit stop.
And Josh, what's good at the moment there? It's from Vargsy on the back there. I've just got to sort of cut you off there, my friend. Jared, go ahead.
No, you're right. I was going to say it is something we see a little bit in these compulsory pit stop races. You know, these cars definitely capable of doing 29 laps without 2 pit stops, but it's the pit stop strategy that really makes these races exciting, and it's something we do see quite a bit of, is that first lap.
Matty making an overtake run. Yep. Now, Matty's not electing to go on the pit road at the moment there, but he's in a mix there of Jason Spriggs there. And, yep, he wants a battle, and this is a good idea, isn't it? Because he's not used to these cars. He's certainly not used to battling. You heard him from himself. He's not used to overtaking. So this is a good test here for our championship leader, our current championship leader, of course, in the new season.
Makes his way through, and look at how long it takes to actually make the passes. It's not done yet either, as Van der Kranj and Visma swap places again. Anthony Visma, look, he's very, very quick.
He's quick.
Right? He's not going to give that up.
Matty's going to give it full credit for that one, exactly. Matty's going to fight tooth and nail on this one. And on top of it, once again, they're not used to the overtaking in this new next-gen cars. And I think it's very clever. Matty had kind of mentioned that, hinted on that, at least in the interview that we had, the man that won the Heat 1, that, you know, this is good for him. He needs to get this experience as well, too, because you don't get that experience too much when you're doing practice runs.
No, it just doesn't do the same thing at all. You don't get the adrenaline rush of a proper race. To really test your ability to control these cars, and because they are so fiddly, you know, they really don't like aggressive pedal action, particularly on the throttle. You do that, you're going to put it sideways. It's as simple as that. And so you really do have to have absolute control as you do make your way around any circuit in a race situation where the adrenaline's pumping. Meanwhile, Van der Kranj and Visma are pushing ahead. Let's take a look a little further back in the pack as we see the teammates going at it here. Rick Vigor and Chad Vigor back to back in the Angry Birds entries, and right behind them, Andrew.
Yeah, if you see the picture at the moment too, I'm riding on board with Andrew Hoffman. The 51 machine has dropped a couple of places so far, but it doesn't matter because it's a longer race, of course. Another 27 laps to go, and we have 2 pit stops to be scheduled. And we do appreciate everybody for tuning in. I really want to do my Santa Claus ho ho ho, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to actually point the cameras back at the front there because Scott Rankin and Stephen Pargsy been going for tooth and nail. Look at that. Oh, he's missing a whole bunch of that car, and I think it's going to miss a little bit more.
Out.
Now, Josh, I know how it feels, isn't it, to fence it like that? Well, as you would say, Josh, and I always tell drivers, the fence came out and hit me. Put that fence on race control. Report.
Yeah, look, such an easy thing to do there. You know, once you've lost the back end of these things, it's very, very easy to spin them around. So certainly not looking at that and casting any ill thoughts towards the drivers here. Really hard cars to drive, and to be fair, you know. Overall.
Josh, you're up in the booth, mate. You can pick on them. You have the rule of thumb up here in the broadcasting booth, mate. You're not a racer at the moment, okay? You can have beef, okay? I've got the barbecue all fired up there. The hot plates are all warm. You can slab a couple of beef on there, and what's the beef for the drivers? It's all good.
Yin and yang, man. Yin and yang.
He's sitting on the fence there, Jared. What's going on? You're in the broadcasting booth, mate. You can't sit in the fence anymore. I get in trouble for that. As Travis Hunt.
I'll allow it for his first one.
Yeah, I think Foxy doesn't worry about Scotty Rankin anymore. He might have to worry about Travis Hunt. 3 positions gained there for the golden 35 machine, and he's on the tailpipe of Scotty for P2.
Take a look at that battle first. Look at that separation. The front 3 just really started to compress up now, but not far behind them at all. Have a look at those names threatening down at 6 and 7, Visma and Van der Kranj. You can see them in the background hunting these guys down. It's just a matter of time.
Did that because Hunt was hunting.
Absolutely. Now, a bit of smoke up ahead. What's happened here?
That's iRacing doing iRacing things with the new.
Just iRacing
if
things?
You kick up a bit of a dust, and we were just doing over our broadcast earlier. I was doing one earlier, and then it was like it gets a little frustrating because it's like it looks like somebody blew in their engine, or just kick up a little bit of dust, and it looked like it kicked up a storm.
Hangs in the air a little bit. Look, I'm sure they'll patch that up a little bit as well.
Oh, they'll patch it up. Yeah, it's just came out. You give them some time. Okay, there's a lot behind the scenes that goes on. than just a little bit of graphics smoke. Put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely, there is.
As May's going to
Take
make
a
an
look
overtake
here.
done soon on Damien Cairns. And hey, Damien, I was born in that town. And your surname there. And he's behind.
All the way up in Far North Queensland, eh? Explains a lot,
Yes,
doesn't it?
I was born there, but didn't live there too often. Anthony up the road there in P5, he set the fastest lap there. It's a 147.87. Josh, would you think that would be the good race pace that you'd have currently at the moment early in this race?
I reckon, and fresh off the second pit stop, fresh tyres, a bit less fuel. We'll see some faster numbers than that. These guys are carrying a lot of fuel. They started the race with 80 litres.
Come the pit
really
stop,
fuel
sorry,
sensitive.
Josh.
Yeah.
Have a look at the
Oh,
line.
that's on you there, Josh. You knew as you're talking about pit stops, and
they
bang,
should
they
go
just
right.
heard the remark there from up here in the booth there. Josh says box, 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 and
So
they all
this
come
is-
down, mate. At least
this is a
most of
reaction-
them.
This is a reaction to a safety car, gents. I can see in the
Yeah.
race control channel the safety car
Yeah.
has been thrown, and they've
You
all
are correct on
been-
that one. Nothing gets by you, Mr. Josh Harris, as Nathan Allen will be piloting that safety car out of pit road. But guess what? The Stevies, not the law firm, Stephen Varga and Stephen Tonkin stayed out. Michael Power, Lucas, Burt, and Scott Rankin all stayed out during that last-minute caution. So how will that affect their race?
Interesting.
Now, interestingly, gents, under the league rules, only one pit stop allowed to be taken under each safety car. So these guys who were right there on the pit lane and managed to dive in as soon as they heard the safety car called, they are absolutely not allowed to go around now and complete their second compulsory pit stop. So they have served one under this safety car. They must now run behind the safety car.
Now keep an eye out on that one, because the other drivers that are up the road there haven't caught the safety cars. So Vargsy in the lead can go flat out, which it looks like he is. We'll keep an eye there on the track map as well, too. Looking at some of the replays, of course, we get a chance. He's parked it right there.
He's parked it there.
Yeah.
I've got to wonder if he's had an engine issue.
That's a tech issue.
Earlier on.
That's a
not
dog or a
ideal,
cat
yeah.
jump on your lap while you're in a
Well,
racing rig, mate. Yeah, something like that. Go ahead, Josh.
Interestingly, these cars, if you downshift them too aggressively, you actually can blow an engine now. So over rev them on the downshift. These cars, just like real supercars, you have to.
We didn't see the puff of smoke, mate. Bugsy goes in, and so will Steve Tonkin. Yes, they will. So our race leaders were going. Now, have they got enough gap there as Scott at the moment?
There's not much, is there? There's not
Scott
much there at
Rankin,
all.
where is he on the track, and will they get in and out ahead of him? Remember,
Here
they still have the ability to
comes-
go full speed because they haven't caught the pace car yet, which is Nathan Allen.
So this is Scott Rankin just coming around now. So these guys are going to have to get a massive move on if they want to come out behind him but ahead of Vanderkran.
They
There
won't.
goes Scott
They
Rankin.
won't. Yep. Bugs is
And
still
here comes
boxed.
Vanderkran. Oh, and it looks like that's Burt overshot, or is that Power that's overshot his box? That's going to cost him a whole lot of time.
They've lost a lot. They're going to be outside the top 10 currently at the moment. As
But here
Rankin
comes
did get out
Vargsy.
ahead. Rankin did get out ahead.
Scott
And
Rankin
Matty's
was out
now
on track.
in P2.
Now, Jared, I'm really interested to know, and I don't have all of the info at my fingertips that you do, but we saw at
good
least
here, mate.
one car pit on lap one, and I'm really interested to see if there's anyone that's just completed their second pit stop. I did the math before this race. We're expecting the cars to use somewhere in the vicinity of 130 to 131 litres of fuel. A fuel tank at 133 litres, so they absolutely can fuel at the end of lap one and get home. So I'm really interested now to see if there's anyone who's done their two pit stops and is about to make a dash for home without having to stop again.
Now, what we're looking at in terms of second pit stops,
Dane,
Dane
isn't it, down at
Nuthurft is in,
33?
back in 33rd. Rob
they-
Baxter came in for his second, but it looks like he may be out. So he's dropping down through the field in 35th. Doesn't look promising for him, unfortunately.
And
check
Dane,
out-
after the pace car, should be catching up the rest of the pack there. So he would be a pit stop window easy peasy in that one if everybody had the box ahead of him. But then he's got the pace car at the moment. So, yeah, he's running 33rd, but he shouldn't have to go down the pit road again there, Josh. So to answer your question on that one, thankfully that should be the case there. And he'll be ready for tuning in at the moment. And we heard some updates on the surgery, of course, with some of the drivers. We hope your best health and wishes, of course, as we get into the holiday spirit. Well, we're into the Alliance Sim Racing V8 Gen 3 Supercars Season 3 opening round at the Glen. The heel, the toe, the boot, it's all there. Scott Rankin, currently
Speaking
in
of
P1.
it being all there, Biggles, check out the new livery on the safety car here. 24/7 Sim Services, the primary sponsor, not only providing race control and safety car services, but also sponsoring the safety car for this season. A really, really stunning safety car livery. I really wish they could put lights on these cars for us, because it looks amazing.
It is, yeah.
The Mustang
Piloted by
GT3.
Nathan Allen, of course, in that one. And just to let everybody know, this is a real driver doing the pace car as well, too. So, and I've seen pace car drivers make a mistake. So let's not jinx it, gentlemen. But it does not look sporting, that 32 safety car. It's looking nice. That's the old Ford, right? The old Gen 2.
No,
Ford.
That's the Ford Mustang GT3.
It is a GT3, okay. Yeah, and he's pulling in, he's getting out of there, so we're going to get green flag racing. Scott Rankin has to hold off Maddie, who's now getting used to overtaking for the first time in the Gen 3 cars.
You can't look easy at this point. Simon Haynes absolutely spot on. Rankin's pit stop way too quick. His time in pit, in his box, only 4 seconds. So
that's a splash and that's not even that's a super splash and dash.
That is basically
Josh. What? Because he done something wrong. Is to go green flag racing.
So that's 2 tyres only. He's taken no fuel there. He's taken 2 tyres, and he'll have a stop for fuel later on.
Oh, I think I love having a driver up here, there, Jared.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go.
So a little bit of movement there. We're going to see Steve Tonkin, Damien Cairns looking for a move here on Gary Buckland, who's going to get done, but keep an eye on Troy Sipple right behind him, looking for the move around the outside, and a few shifts back and forth as everyone starts to get back into that racing line. We're under green flag again, lap 7 of our 29 feature race this evening. And it is all happening already. Dean Logsdale finds himself a little further back with Anthony Visma right behind him. So Visma's ended up all the way back in P10. He's going to be looking to make up some of those spots in that next pit stop, I'm sure. Here comes Trav Hunt. We know he's fast. What's he got under brakes? Oh, big lockup.
Oh, he's getting
puts it into the back corner.
Peter behind him. Jeff Thomas. They're all involved here. Big names, big drivers in a big league. Going to for now, allowing themselves enough space, as you heard before about the rules and changes. Gentleman-like behaviour here in the Alliance Sim Racing. I love to see it. We saw it last season. We're going to see it again, hopefully. And it's showing so far that these gentlemen are doing the right thing. They realise, hey, we've got 23 laps to go. There's no point in bidding somebody or turning somebody in the fence right now. You've got plenty of time to do that later on, gentlemen, if you want to. I choose not to, but don't do it. Josh, you did turn somebody before.
He did a fantastic job there to actually hold that when Hunt made contact. He was starting to slide through that corner. I have no idea how he's managed to settle that car down mid-corner and keep it on the right track.
But, you hit the anchors, mate.
That's the skill.
You hit the handbrake, and then you apply the accelerator. As Matty's... whoa, Scotty's made a mistake there for the challenge for the lead of this race at the moment. And you do not want to make a mistake in front of the 180 machine of MVDK, because he will pounce on you in a heartbeat. Remember, Vargsy and Scott Rankin were battling in this one, but when you add MVDK into the mix, MVDK does MVDK things, just called win races, but Scotty's still in the lead there. He's managed to... He showed in the door there and didn't get burgled. Matty didn't get his pick lock ready.
You know what's actually happened as a result of that? Stephen Varga has now got Vanderkraan under pressure. He's closed that gap right up, as has Jason Spriggs just behind. So
we're going to see a little bit of beef from last season. Exactly. Remember, it's all open field. The slate is clean. The whiteboard is wiped. The blackboard chalk is dusted. 0 points to everybody going into this race, of course, apart from Heat 1. But let's just continue on this one. Jason putting pressure at the moment on Vargsy.
Vargas continues down the inside line. He's managing to hold him off, but Spriggs just firing a bit of a warning shot there as to what he's capable of. We didn't see him last season, so a bit of a new face to this crowd, but certainly proving he's got what it takes. Tonkin as well. We didn't see Steve last season racing here with Alliance, but he's currently up 11 positions in P5. Now he's done his first pit stop as well, so I don't think for a second that that's just that he has that he's made it up without taking the pit stop. Trav Hunt, a black flag. So that'll be contact with Visma that's gotten him the black flag. Race control not missing that one. He's going to have to serve a drive-through penalty for that one.
Naughty boy. Now, Josh Harris, yeah, what do you do, mate? Put your head down, just accept it, take it on the beef there. A few little beeps, of course, and it'll be going through the driver's thoughts. But you just have to suck it up, buttercup, and just continue on, right? You got 22 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Head down here, hit your marks, drivers, as consistently as you can, and salvage what you can.
Scott Rankin, fastest man on the track in the 47 club for the first time in Heat 2, the feature race. Getting on with it because he knows he's got to keep the champion leader as we got there back to the battle for P9, as you mentioned there currently at the moment on your pitches. Dean, come on, get it done! Troy on the outside, you can see it in your pitches. Wow, here we go. Dean versus Troy. And these are, well, Dean's not a familiar name in this one, but Troy certainly is. He's 6 positions gained. Dean's 3 down. He wanted to get some more. He's hungry.
Really just shows how much you have to commit to get those passes done, because the minute the truck switches direction, that's it. Your passing opportunity is gone. As he has another go, Logsdale goes through on Sipple. Now, is Vigar going to push? Big contact there. Doors rubbing between Vigar and Troy Sipple. Sipple comes out a little worse for wear as a result. And Logsdale says, thank you very much. That'll be a little bit of breathing room for me. You two can battle it out behind. He slides on through to P9.
Now, Josh, I mean, that all happens in a split second up here in the casting box looking at those cars, but you're inside that, and you don't get the vision that we do. You don't get all these camera angles and stuff like that. How does it feel when you're just boxed in with cars and then you're trying to overtake an opportunity just as you saw? It's tough, right? And what do you do? If you lose a position, are you gutted? Do you just continue on? What happens?
No, look, you just got to continue on. Certainly me, the way that I race, I try and let all the emotion out of it. So I'm there to do a job, and I've got marks to hit, and we're trying to maximise every corner. We're not there to get angry or upset. So really, as soon as I see that I've started to lose a position, the focus immediately changes onto how can I minimise this damage? How can I slot in behind that car? And how can I make sure that I don't find myself, out wide corner after corner after corner with just car after car after car coming through? So, it's a very quick mindset change and consolidate what you can and try and get back on the attack.
Jared, I would imagine too, as well, the fact that if you're in the boots right now, the 14 machine of Rick Vigar, he's got Jeff Thomas right behind him, James Hardy, Peter and Damon all there, and he knows if he makes a little bit of a mistake and he's going to lose basically 4 places. And Josh, as Josh said, in a way that Josh knows as a racing driver, you've got to put that, but just put your head down there and tuck it in there and get it done. But you're also going to make sure you're fighting your own battle. You don't want to make any crucial mistakes. But further up in the field there, Matty putting pressure on, but more importantly, Bugsy, mate, he's put more pressure on Matty. And he has put some pressure on Matty last season. He's putting pressure on Matty at the moment. That'll help Scotty Rankin in the lead of this race.
Absolutely it will. Vanderkran's not used to having to drive his mirrors and in front of him too often. He's had to play defensively a fair bit last season, but very rare that he's found himself with someone like Varga right behind him battling it out from P1. Rankin, though, he only made it to a couple of races last season, and here he is with a bit of clear air. It seems that he's got what it takes to hold off the fast-charging Vanderkran. G'day, Reese. Welcome to the chat, my friend. Good to have you with us again here for Season 3, the Alliance Sim Racing of V8 Supercars.
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, otherwise I'll do my Santa Claus best. We got a little picture-in-picture at the moment if you want. Yep, Vargsy I'm on board right now. I'm riding shotgun actually with Vargsy. I'm just leaning into the camera a little bit more so you can see more of the pictures. That is our championship winner. That's Matty in P2. Not in P1, but P2. And you can just see Scotty taking the turn in the apex up the road there. That's the 156 machine leading this race.
Talk us through this lap, Josh. We're into turn 2, turn 3 here, but as a driver, what are you looking for? What are your marks here?
Yeah, look, turn 2, turn 3 is actually really difficult. These cars are almost like a boat when you get on the throttle, and in other cars you'll be absolutely flat. But a bit of a lift there, and make sure that you hit your apexes so you don't end up too wide. And then into the braking area here, super fast. And as you saw,
Rankin's off.
Rankin is off into the fence, but keeps it out of the fence.
Kept it out of the wall.
I'm sorry.
Done.
Welcome along to the broadcast booth, Josh. That is your first commentator's curse.
And exactly what I was about to talk about happened. That is a very, very difficult braking area. There's a little lump in it as you go and join the track where it comes back off the bus stop, and you actually have to clear the brake, let the car up over that little hump, and get back on it. And what we just saw there was someone who held that brake pedal and got it all locked up and slid off.
Jared, do you want to see a replay of that one so you can re-elaborate everybody once again of what happens in a situation like that for the first time viewers and even like me that is not a racing driver, like what exactly happened from a racing driver's perspective?
Let's go back and take a look at that at slow speed. Talk us through this one, Josh. What
yeah,
happens
absolutely.
here under
So the main track just disappears off here out stage left and you go through a bus stop. But we clear the bus stop in this race. And you'll see there on the brakes now, and there's that little bump, and it really unsettles the car. And what you've got to do is you're actually on the brakes, down a gear, clear the brake, over the bump, and then you're back on the brakes and you've got another gear. And as you can see, if you don't do it quite right, as the car unweights over that little bump, you lock all of the wheels, and before you know it, you're off out in the sticks wondering where it all went wrong.
Huh. Go on walkabout, mate. Exactly. Good on you. What a great description. I'm really enjoying having Josh up here in the booth. Give us a shout out if you are enjoying Josh up in the booth, giving us a driver's analysis perspective, because I'll tell you what, Jared, you do drive, but I have no idea. And we thank you very much, Josh. At the moment, we're seeing Anthony in P7 on the battle there with Damon Cairns, where I was born, and Damon Cairns is going to try to hold up the 88. Sit on the inside. Here we go. He's not going to hold him off for too long.
Straight through. Yeah, Visma's got some pace, and all he needs is just a little bit of room ahead, inviting him through that gap. It makes it easy. Up 3 positions since the start. Let's talk pit stops for a moment. A whole lot of first pit stops done. The top runner with 2 pit stops already under their belt is Dane Nofter back on 24th. So look, he's probably pretty hopeful if he thinks he's going to find himself up the front as all of these guys go through for the second. But stranger things have happened. He's not that far behind, and if he's got enough fuel on board to see out the rest of this race, just might find himself in podium contention.
That you'd like to see at the moment. Jeff Thomas on the back there of Troy Sipple, and familiar names in the territory. I'm not sure about Jeff Thomas so much. 40 positions gained. Actually going to be sold by that door banging Troy loves a little bit of door banging. It's nothing like it. It's like NASCAR at the moment. Well, my friend here in a Ford Mustang, of course, they don't run them in NASCAR series, but a bit of door banging happens around here on lap 12 of 29, 18 to go. And Jeff Thomas clearly is a little bit of a quicker car here. But you're going to make that, Troy's going to make that 17 car as wide as possible, won't he there, Josh?
Yeah, and as you saw coming onto the straight there...
Somebody's blowing up in pit road.
Yeah. Absolutely. but oh, no.
Oh, he's turned!
Sideways.
He's door banged, he's turned in. Troy spun on the first exit, or the first corner. And, well, there you go. That's another commentator's curse to Josh. Josh, you're on a roll at the moment. 3 is his trifecta. I'm going to get down to... bet on the GGs with you, my friend. You got 2 out of 2 at the moment. Let's have a look what happened.
There's contact there.
Is he turned into him there, Josh?
I think Josh has turned out into Troy Sipple there. I don't know. Race control. We'll have a look at that one. But that's set Sipple back.
We won't have time to analyze and to go over that one. And remember, race control will look at things from different angles. They'll reverse it. They'll slow it down. And on top of it, race control will also have a little bit of a note of if they have beef before. We only show the cameras of the action that's going on. These drivers could have had beef for like the last 5 laps for all we know. We haven't shown it. And their race control will analyze that one and reevaluate the situation. What race control says is final.
Blown engine for Damien Cairns by the look of it, Jared.
Oh, Damien!
So that'll explain the smoke in pit lane. And
I thought that was a barbecue for the beef.
Happened.
He appears to be still out on track. Lots of smoke coming out the back.
Look at this battle. Look at this. It's green versus red. It's not a Ferrari versus an Aston Martin. It is Andrew Hoffman versus Reg Chains and Peter and the 056 machine watching quietly, hunting in the background there. This is all for the battle for P13
that's
at
the
Oh,
the
smoke
moment.
we're talking about. Here's Damien Cairns, his engine in all sorts of trouble.
It is. A little
he's gonna
huff
be
and a
coming
puff,
into
and you're
pit.
going to be blowing your way into pit lane. Hopefully there, Damien Cairns. And he'll drop all the way down like a 929 stock exchange, unfortunately, gentlemen. But hopefully you can get that fixed up and repaired at the moment. Big battle also brewing for P5 with Gary Buckland on the back there of Steve Tonkin, on the back there of Jason Spriggs.
Going on all over the field at the moment. Vanderkine not managing to get in the front either. He's still got Varga and
Hey, don't
Spriggs
encourage him.
behind him.
Shh.
I mean,
Jared.
we have to, don't we? We have
See,
to.
Jared, there's commentators' blessings here at the moment. He wants Matty to get up the road there and win it by 20 seconds like he did last season. What's going to happen?
I'm not sure if you guys caught it just there, but seeing quite a bit of debris on the track getting flipped up. So there's have a look at the amount of grass and mud debris being flicked up in the middle of the track there. It's actually been dragged along by an earlier driver. That's going to be impacting the amount of grip these drivers have through all of these.
Oh, big power slide coming in aside from the injury. See that in the background there, Anthony? He could get the power down there and just couldn't slice and dice it through as we switch away back down to P17, as you met Andrea Hoffman and Troy. But down to you, Josh. Now, they haven't implemented this just yet, of course. We get tire punches from debris, right? But I'm sure iRacing's working frantically on that one just to add a little bit more spice and dice to already what is a difficult simulator to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. This new debris model, as it is, has introduced a new level of realism. Consequences for innocent parties based on other people having accidents, which, to be fair, is exactly what it's like in real life. But as you said, iRacing have confirmed that sometime in the future they are absolutely introducing a model where people can pick up tyre punctures based on the debris on the track. And
I like it.
As a driver, I'm equal parts
You
excited
probably
about
hate
that and fearful because the last thing I want to get is a puncture when I'm racing. But,
Mate, but that's what it makes it exciting racing, of course, for us up the broadcast. Yeah, you're right though, on Josh one. Anthony will go down into pit road and get that second pit stop there. He's got a whole bunch of smoke to navigate through. That's blowing engines. Our iRacing haven't added little fire marshals in there. Go ahead.
Dane Nothdurf's come through. So Dane Nothdurf, we're saying, is the first to have had 2 pit stops. Anthony Visma, one of the front 10, has just taken his second, and he's come out behind Dane Nothdurf. Dane Nothdurf effectively the lead runner with 2 pit stops. However, his last stop on lap 4 means that he's going to have a lot of fuel on board if he's expecting to make it to the end, and that's going to be a real ask of those tyres as well.
Dane is 29 seconds, if you look at the gap to leader, down from our leader at the moment, and he's battling at the moment with Dylan, and that's 2 for now between those 2 drivers as well, too, for potentially what will gain them a bit of a track position. Dylan actually hasn't. He's just driven past Dylan on those fresh boots. And Josh Harris, of course, you're going to throw on those 4 freshies, right? Or at least, if you're going to take a pit stop. He took a pit stop of Dane 11 seconds, so that'd just be a splash and dash. I didn't imagine you'd take tyres at that time, would you?
4 tyres is 9 seconds, mate.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's 4 tyres and splash and dash.
Yeah. In my opinion, if you're taking fuel, you're throwing rubber on as well because it doesn't take much fuel at all to be covered or to cover those tyres. So, unlimited tyres in this game. Why not take them and get the freshest rubber on that you can?
Limited tyres for now. You never know what iRacing's got to sleeve, right?
Absolutely.
So this is the battle further back. Battle for 17th right now, but Dane Nothdurf in 20th. The current front runner, as we say, with 2 stops under his belt, but Anthony Visma just a couple of places back, also with 2 stops under his. So let's see how this strategy plays out. We're about halfway through this second race. Again, round 1 here of the Alliance Sim Racing V8 Supercars series, the Gen3 Supercars out on track at Watkins Glen. You are here with Simple Racing Broadcasts in the booth, of course. My name is Jared Cole, alongside Dean Hopton and Josh Harris tonight, as we bring all the action to you live and exclusive here on the Alliance Sim Racing channel. And gentlemen, so far, I can't wait to see what the rest of this season has in store. If this is the quality of racing we're going to have.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting, to get out on track in cars that are realistically only a week old and put on racing of this quality. It's just going to get better and better.
Take a look a little bit further up as Gary Buckland looks to put the pressure on Steve Tonkin here in the battle for 4th. And this is and again, we've had enough commentators' curses tonight, I think. But
no, he hasn't gone 3 yet. Yeah, Josh, you haven't hit the trifecta, mate. You got to go 3 for 3 here. You big gold, mate. It's your first time broadcasting, so you get that luxury. Hey, it's up to you, mate. You got God powers up here at the moment. It's like we have God mode just to click on the car and go make them spin. That's the power we have up here, mate. We tried it with Matty, but it doesn't seem to work, buddy. He's broken all the code.
No, he's breaking our entire rhythm, isn't he? Gary Buckland
Breaking
was in last
iRacing.
season, but wasn't as competitive in the Gen 2s. So far tonight, he's showing fantastic form in the Gen 3. So I wonder if he's just a little more comfortable with the way these react and behave. So far, starting on pole for race 2 with that reverse top 10. He's only dropped 4 spots, so he's hanging in there with the big boys up front. We've got high hopes for our friend Gary Buckland.
Well, real quick there, Josh.
Oh, contact.
Oh, we can't. I was gonna say we can get a lap around our driver soon. We'll get a lap around there. Josh can give us a little bit of a lap guide, but we've got a bit of action to capture at the moment here. And trust me, don't worry about that. Josh will give us a little bit of a what's happened with Jared.
There. Just slowed it right down, big brakes. I wonder if he's picked up a slowdown penalty from iRacing. Dane Nothurft almost went into the back of him there.
Yeah, slowdown penalty from iRacing. Go ahead, Josh.
Very easy to pick up a slowdown penalty on the outside of turn 1 here at Watkins Glen. So absolutely a possibility. I didn't see whether he blew it wide at turn 1, but it's very easy to do.
Yeah, sometimes some tracks, gentlemen out there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs that are tuning in, you can get slowdowns after you exit a corner too quickly and so forth, and the iRacing itself will deem that, not race control, that you get a slowdown, which means you have to just lift and coast a little bit until they say gas it again. Or, even worse, you get a drive-through penalty, and then you'll have to drive down the pit road. But go back to the battle for our on board right now at P19, as we have pit stops up the road too. Yep. So Anthony Dane is up the road there, Darren, and this is a battle for 16, 17 Dave there. But remember, we're talking about drivers that have been down pit road, and 2 pit stops are required in this feature race.
So keep an eye on Dane Nothurft in 17th. Vanderkraan and Varga will want to come out ahead of P17. So you can see them just reaching their pit boxes now as they drop down the order. You see Sipple coming in for his second stop as well.
They're going to pass them, I think. They're all on pit road. Bugs is in, Matt's in, Chad's in. They're slicing and dicing through here now. Oh, and also Anthony. Late send into turn 1. You can see in your pictures currently at the moment. Bingo, job done. Number 6 calls up Daniel Ricciardo. Lick the stamp and send it. Daniel Ricciardo says, absolutely, job done.
That, though, has ended up with Stephen Varga getting out ahead of Visma. So a lightning pit stop there from Vargs. Just over 10 seconds in the box.
Yeah, but he's got cold tires, isn't he? And look at this. Anthony's on a hunt. Big time. Talk us through this one, Josh. You know that drivers just come out of pit road. You've got to attack. And he's attacking.
Absolutely. Those warm tyres are going to do wonders here. He can brake later. He can hit the apex earlier. And as you see, get back on the power and just drive straight around. You really have to maximise those opportunities. And he's done a fantastic job there.
He's being forced to give up that position for now, but he'll be waiting for his tyres to come up to temp before he mounts an offensive. So Anthony Visma, our effective race leader after compulsory pit stops, back in P12 for now. But we'll see that all start to sort itself out as we enter just about the last 10 laps of this second race here this season.
Yeah, he's under big pressure now too, isn't he? Because Bugs is now getting temperature on his tyres, and Bugs is not a happy camper about having to come out. And you know Josh Harris coming out, and you just ahead of a driver in pit road. Of course, you'll be glad that you are, but at the same time you realise that your tyres aren't really up to temperature. And here we go. Look at this traffic. Look at this battle at the moment. Todd Martin, Michael Power. Oh, and there's contact. He's got to lift off. I think Bugsy lifted off. He realised it's a my bad situation, right, Josh? You've been in this situation. You just lift off and say, I've had contact. We have a driver going to pit road up in front of them. But here we go. It's game on now. So my bad situation, over. Let's go racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know about that. Honestly, I'm sorry to cut you off, Josh, but I reckon Vugsy's about to cop himself a penalty for that one. That was a huge hit into the back of Visma.
He lifted. He lifted.
Off.
I was on board. He lifted.
But
yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep race control happy.
Josh, is it? Well, will it be? Because we can talk about this sort of black and blue in the face. Of course, the race control will deem that one. But also, you could show yourself, can't you, Josh, that hey, if you realise that you might have done something wrong, you do lift off, you do lose a little bit of time. Race control will see that as you're trying to redeem the situation.
Yeah. A redress is definitely taken into account. It doesn't absolve you of any fault, but race control will look at that favourably. And look, generally speaking, if you touch someone, as long as they don't spin, as long as they get to hold the position that they're in, it is normally play on, but different leagues and different interpretations. We'll see whether a penalty gets handed out, but me personally, I'd love to see that as play on. These cars, they move around, they're high power, they're hard to pass in. We love to see that hard racing, and I really hope that we don't see a penalty handed out for what's not much more than a little bump. He did back out of it. He let him get back on with it, and then as soon as he could, he got the pass done.
We go back to that battle action. So at the moment that Jason Spriggs is all the way on the back there of Anthony Visma, as you gentlemen have mentioned. You can currently see in your pictures there. Up the mode there, Vargsy. There's Vargsy. There it is. Drive through for Chad Begar from Race Control.
Unrelated
James
there.
Hardley will go into the pit road for the 666 machine, and he's going to go down to the lane of the devil if you can get it all wrong in pit road, or it could very much be the lane of the godsend to get you in and out of pit stop quickly. But he will lose those positions to these drivers that we're currently watching. And if you want to do the picture-in-picture there too, my friend the producer there, Jared, I'm riding on board shotgun with Jason Spriggs there on the back there of Anthony Bismarck.
Plenty of action happening all around the track. Spriggs is looking for an opportunity to get past Visma if he can. I am watching the info from Race Control to see if there is anything in that contact between Visma and Vargs. So far, hasn't come through, but we'll keep a close eye on our link to Race Control. Into lap 20 now. Van der Kraan went off track there a little further back, so he's maybe struggling a little bit with the cold tyres, just resetting his expectations of what the car's got up its sleeve. Right now, if it all continues as we might expect, he's going to find himself back in about P5 or P6 come end of race. So he's going to want to get a move on if he wants to secure maximum points here tonight. But still, got a little time to do it. Not much though. 9 laps here is going to go past in no time. Take a look at Jason Spriggs continuing to put pressure on his teammate Anthony Visma.
And Josh, teammates, what's the rules? First race of the season. There should be no rules, right? Because there's no championship points, really, unless you're thinking about Heat 1. But it's game on.
No, absolutely game on. Teammates, we're here to race, but you hear it over and over and over again. The only rule is that you do not, under any circumstances, touch each other.
Damon Fisher's had an incident.
Or touch the chicane like Damon Fisher might have done. I don't think he's hit anybody. He's gone straight on, hasn't he?
Just run it.
Yeah.
Wide.
Explain that one there, Josh. That seems like you're slowing down for a reason. Like I would do that. Like technical, Cat's jumped on your lap there. Wife said you haven't taken the trash out because the truck's going to pick it up in the morning. Well, something like that's probably happened. Oh! Who's that?
Granshaw. Joseph Granshaw has gone sideways. I don't think he was intending to enter the pits there.
No, there's no pit lane entrance anyway. That's going to be getting yourself a nice tubby back. There it is. There's the pit lane entrance.
He's made it. He's pulled it up. He's not going to get a penalty for speed in the pit lane, so
he can't get back on the pit
that'll
road
do.
at the moment anyway.
Let's see if we can catch that. It's quartered as a pit lane entry for him as opposed to a crash. But
all right, Josh, you're going to have to give us a little what happened as he got
there's
tagged.
A nudge there.
Yeah,
there's a big nudge there.
That's a classic Watkins Glen accident. You actually have to slow up more to get into pit lane than what you would to take the corner, and unfortunately the pit entry is right in the middle of the racing line. So that's a little bit of miscommunication between drivers.
And this is what I do like about road courses compared to the oval races. Oval races, a lot of the drivers are all in the Discord chat, right? Which is just like they're saying, okay, I'm going to go on pit road, right? Because you're going to go on the inside apron. Seen some fantastic battles here happening here on your pitches. We'll get back to that one in a minute, but go ahead. Jared, as Gary Buckland goes in for the race lead into pit road.
Big slide, comes back the other way.
He caught it, but he couldn't quite catch it enough. He's on the race side, don't reverse!
Just tags Van Ree on the way through.
Yeah, Josh, you have to hit the anchors, mate. You can't move, right? You've got to be predictable.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing. I would have liked to see
515 went around after that.
You know, that was avoidable for the second incident. Pick up the brakes and get yourself stopped and let people move
exactly.
around you.
Be predictable is the key, because drivers flying around a corner blind at 100 plus miles an hour have to kind of steer left or steer right. They cannot predict where a car is moving on the track. Everybody pretty much knows that. It's in Talladega Nights or any of those sort of even
Where
though
I get
it's
all my
like
race training from is actually
yeah, race training
Nights.
from Talladega Nights.
I'm glad you
Jump out of the car, think you're on fire, all that sort of jazz that
Craig
happens.
Rose has gone around as well. What's happened here? You can see some damage on the car in the background, but is this bump catching him out again? There it is. Big unsettled, huge lockup.
Oh, he's locked it up
And once
before
he's
he's
on
even
the
gone.
grass-
So, he's not even turning.
No,
I'd like to
he's
go back and
locked
look at
that
the
up over
replay
that
on the
bump.
steering wheel. It doesn't look like he turned at all. Now, is there ABS brakes on these cars there, Josh? Because
There
you
is
should
not.
be able to turn.
No
Here we go.
ABS
Here's the,
braking.
No ABS. Have a look at this on board right now. And this
Over
is
the
it.
bump.
So, he's in 6th gear. He hasn't even short shifted. Now he's short shifting. Or shifting. He's locked it in the
Nothing he
first.
can do
And
there. He
yeah,
into the
he's
wall.
turned the steering wheel. It's locked up completely. No ABS brakes. ABS brakes. And that is what happens,
No,
boys
those
and
brakes
girls,
are
ladies and
pretty
gentlemen.
BS to me. Oh, little contact
turn
there.
him.
They've got to be
Don't
careful.
door him.
Gotta
Don't
be
door him.
Very careful. Baxter in the background.
Okay,
getting
door
back
him.
on track.
Just go ahead.
This is, of course, James Hardy going at it with Peter Sattler right now.
And look
That's
at the
with,
marbles on the outside of
James,
the track as
Red
well,
James.
too, right, Josh? You get
Oh,
up in
contact,
those
they're
marbles,
pushing.
my
He's-
friend, and
big
there's
nudge
around.
there. Now, Reg James, I suspect is straight on to race control for that one. Because
It's
James
Dean.
Hardy
It's
has
Dean. Yeah,
pushed him.
Dean in the kitty litter, mate. And that could be one that would be called on race control. They were already now analysing a bunch of other racing incidents that have just occurred. Not to mention,
We've
they're trying to
actually-
go through one report and they've already got another one.
Yeah, it looks like Lucas Burt's unsurprisingly copped a drive-through for that contact that took out Van Ree. Let's go back, though, because there are actually two separate incidents there. So we had Dean Logsdale in the background, who was having all
Yeah,
sorts of issues.
he got an unlucky dog in this situation in the kitty litter, trying to hold it, bang, no, oversteers, bingo, into the fence. Not really. Backs it up, reversing it, trying to get out of the way.
Just, mate. Let's go back and have a look at the external view there. On the
Wow,
grass,
and
puts the
Josh
power
Harris
down.
is going deja vu. I've been in these situations
Have
before, but
look at
what a
that.
save!
Big hit. Got
It didn't
very
take
lucky.
anybody out. Josh
That
Harris, you
was
got to know, don't
fantastic
you?
car
It's got to
control.
feel good, right, Jared and Josh?
Yeah, look, he's done a good job there. It's so easy to do. You touch that grass, they burst into wheel spin, and once you've started to lose it, it's all over. You know, I mean, we see there such a simple thing to do. So to get through a spin that big and not take anyone out, that's
Simple
That's
broadcasting.
going to be a win. Yeah.
Simple
absolutely.
racing.
So
Matty,
the pit
I'm going to
stop
go on
sign
board right
happening
now
here.
with Matty Vanderkraan there, boss man, in the little picture. He's in the back there of Jeff and Jim, and it's not a law firm, and it's not a repair shop this evening, hopefully not. Jim's in P9, 13 positions game for the 69 machine. 28
Little
is
bit
Jeff
of a
Thomas.
Lock up there. We'll go have a look at that because Jeff Thomas is just pushing that car very, very hard. We're seeing a little bit of smoke off those rear tyres on entry, so got to wonder if he's exploring the limits of those tyre temps in the attempt to stay ahead of Vanderkraan. And of course, Matty VDK will be looking to do everything he can to push past. After starting in P10, finds himself down in P11 right now, and that is likely how it's going to finish if he doesn't.
That's
get it
true.
on. Lap 24, he's got his 2 stops done. Vargs is looking very, very comfortable out in front, with Visma a fair way behind now, really a couple of seconds back, as we see Vanderkraan doing everything he can, but just not able to get it happening tonight, it seems.
Now let's elaborate what happened there, Josh.
Scotty Rankin's crashed
And-
as well.
Well, we know what happened here, obviously, to Mr. Rankin. And we'll look at the replay here on the Simple Racer broadcast.
Well, he's just
The
going-
Rally Sega 96 Sega rally car. That's not a Toyota, of course, but gets out of the way. But what happened to Matty? He was right up the front of the top of the timesheets up that pit stop. He's down currently in P11. Josh, do you know why?
No, I don't. It just looks to me like when he took his second pit stop, he's come out in a bit of traffic, and of course, like we spoke about in between the races with him, it's his first time racing in these cars, and like I alluded to, these things are so hard to pass in. It's one thing to get up onto the back of the car in front, very, very different story to pass them.
Take a look for the battle for second here. Visma and Spriggs really just nose to tail, tail to nose, however you want to look at it. These guys battling it out for that second step on the podium. just want to call out the pit strategy as it's played out for some of these drivers has made a huge difference to some of their results this evening. Have a look at Michael Schroeder in P8 right now, up 27 positions from the start of this race. And not far behind him, Caperonis and Thomas, 13 and 16 respectively. It's played out in their favour in a massive way tonight.
He's only a second and change from Damon Cairns as well. So don't count that one out yet, just boss man, with 5 laps to go. Anything can happen. It will happen in a motor race. Yeah, exactly. It's a little battle. It's a 1.6 gap now. So Visma hasn't been able to do it to Vargsy stuff. But more about Jason Spriggs. He may be able to steal that P2. We have a podium run at least, I'd say. Stephen Token, he's down in P4. He's about 6 seconds to change. So unless he can pull a miracle out of his bag there, or AKA there is a little bit of an issue up the road, he may be able to steal podium. But Jason Spriggs, he's the one to look at the moment. 14's catching the 6 for P2.
James Hardy into the pits to serve a drive-through penalty. Black flag by race control.
Oh. Josh Harris, you just sit there and go, sorry, race control, couldn't quite hear. You're breaking up. I can't hear you. Can you just say that and get away with it? They probably wouldn't let that happen, would they?
Absolutely not. No,
You've tried it, haven't you, mate? Come on, here we go.
I think we've all tried it.
Comes Vanderkran.
Yeah.
He's pushing Thomas.
This is a test, isn't it? Because he's not used to overtaking. The old MVDG VK is used to running at the front. He's not used to running in P11 in a race. But then again, he's lucky. He's doing it for the first race of the season and not the championship race at the end.
To be fair, last season he had plenty of starts from P10 in the Gen 2s with the reverse grid. But yeah, as we said earlier, Josh Harris rightly pointing out that these things are very, very difficult to pass in. And it's being shown all over the track tonight as a big slide from Jeff Thomas gives Vanderkran just a bit of a look at another opportunity to pass here.
Now, Josh, do you think if these drivers get used to these, do you think that Matty's going to get used to those overtakes and the reverse grids that he's so good at doing last season, or do you think it's going to be at least half a season of struggling to get that? And hit the marbles, Josh. What happened?
Yeah, that's he just dipped the rear left in the grass there on turn in and locked it ever so slightly, and it got him sideways. To your comment, will he be able to move through? Look, no doubt these cars are only a week old. These guys are going to get better, but one thing that I think a lot of people who haven't driven them don't realise, they look very aggressive from the outside. They move around a lot. There's a lot of wheel spin and a lot of attitude. But you have to drive these cars so gently. These cars reward really gentle behaviour. It's gentle on the brakes, gentle on the steering, gentle on the throttle. And what that means is that they're very hard to pass in because, you have to get that gentle brake application on the way into the corner. You can't drive down the inside, simply brake 20 metres later and push on the brake pedal a little bit harder. Everybody is at the maximum braking capacity of these cars every single corner. So it's very, very rewarding to get a pass done because you have to string it together for so long. It's not just a one-off thing where you shove it down the inside, and I think that's fantastic. And we're really seeing some good racing. It means that defending is something that you can do in these cars, and as a driver, I love that. The craft of racing is all about finding a way past someone. It's not just about I'm half a second a lap quicker, so I'm going to drive past things.
And on that note, we're watching Jim Caperonis looking desperately for a way through. Lap 26 here, he's been stuck behind Schroeder for a little while, but continues to threaten on all of his corner entries. A great little battle going on here for 8th, as we see the field ahead of them still reasonably well spaced out. We're keeping an eye on Spriggs in P3. He's got a little bit of work to do to catch back up to Visma as Visma opens up the throttle and starts to extend. But the story, of course, Stephen Varga extending his lead out to almost 2 seconds in front, and at this point he looks almost unstoppable for the win here in race number 2.
Season 1 at the moment. Well, not
Season 1,
season 1,
starting off like this.
Season 3.
Start of the season.
Traby on the back there of Ruth Bagar. That's a good battle there at the moment, P12 and 13. These are familiar faces in this racing league. They're going for 2 for now. Reg James and Bob Barker, but keep an eye on one at a time. Yeah, here we go. Traby on Bagar. Bugsy versus Traby. Here it is. race 1 of the season. Gen 3 Supercars. I think Travis has this one in the bag, but you got to think about it. Got that fantastic overtake done, and you look at the timesheet and go, I'm P12? Wow.
Hey, here goes the pass as well. Oh,
Jim and Michael.
Caperonis almost getting it done, but Schroeder's got the better line, and he's going to extend that back out. So all of that work for nothing. And now Caperonis has to have a look behind, because here comes Jeff Thomas. Looking to
And Matty behind him as well. Not to mention
still hanging around back
you got, it's like you're talking to your engineers, like, I just got Jeff Thomas behind me, that's fine. It's like, who's behind Jeff Thomas? Oh, just the championship leader. Beep. Don't tell me that, race engineer. I want to be focused on one driver at a time. That's what you'd be thinking anyway, right, Josh Harris? If you're driving, you want to know. You don't want to know the championship leader and the man that's quickest. You don't want to hear that Matt MVDK is behind you, right, Josh?
No, absolutely not what you want to do in this situation. You've got 2 laps to go. You want to get your head down. You want to look forward. Don't worry about your mirrors. Just drive, hit every single mark. The only, the best way that you can move forward in a race is to look forward. And to be fair, I think that's exactly what Jim's doing.
Rick Vergar's in pit road, mate. Sorry to cut you off. I don't know why. It's very daylight double short on that one. I think he did go to pit road before, but maybe a separate drive-through that could be the answer to that situation, because remember, these drivers are exploring track limits. You're right there, Josh. If I was your race engineer, mate, I wouldn't even put those revision mirrors on there, as these drivers are tattling their way around here. But I'd say, Josh, never drive backwards, only drive forwards, my friend. That's all you'd be looking forward at the moment. Hopefully Jim is looking forward.
Turn 1. Big dive. Can he get past Walden?
I did just spot, Jared, another blown engine, so that's definitely going to become a feature of these Gen 3 cars. You can.
Is it a Ford? Or is it the...
That's probably a Ford, mate, let's be honest.
Yeah, of course it is. I spoke to you about this one, Jared. Fords blow up. All right? It used to be a Holden, of course, but we'll just switch it over to the GM company in the United States. They don't blow up.
Oh,
go watch those YouTube videos.
Whoa! And have a look at Vanderkraan
this
around
is
the outside.
Huge.
Thank you very much.
How does he do that so easy? How does he avoid incidents?
I have no idea.
I don't know how he does it. Gary Buckland and Dane battle for P5 and P6 as well, too, boss man.
Cleanly.
That's brewing up.
But here's Matty Vanderkraan, who somehow
I don't know what Vanderkraan does.
Completely unharmed.
It's Vander. Yeah, I'm taking Vanderkraan to the casino there, and we're going to be gambling, my friend. Because
that was insane.
You want to bet on that driver? I'll tell you that right now. He's up in the P8, but keep an eye on the battle for P5 and P6. Not too much of an action pack up the top of this one. On the last race, we on the penultimate lap at the moment there. Bugsy, get a race win, set the standard there, especially with May down to P8.
Though.
Look at that.
A second. Vargsy had 2 seconds gap, and Visma is reeling him in at a rate of knots down to a second. Is Vargs on low fuel? Is he fuel saving right now?
Vargs has done a 49.1 on the last lap, so I'm not sure about fuel saving, but I reckon that there's been some sort of a mishap, and in these cars, so easy to
Comes
do.
Visma down to 6 tenths.
Yeah, Visma's catching it pretty quickly. You might be calling this one on. It's he's shaved 2 tenths in a couple of corners. And it's the last lap of the race. Will it be enough? I'll keep an eye on the picture there for you, boss man. And you can see on board there, riding shotgun with Anthony. Will he have enough in the tank there in the dying stages of this race for the Simple Racing race? Alliance Simple Racing, V8 Supercars, Gen 3, final couple of corners. Can Vargsy get it?
I don't think he's got it in the tank. Here comes Visma. Can Vargsy play enough defense here to hold him off just long enough to get across the line, or is he on absolute fumes? The gap
Josh,
now,
you reckon?
2 tenths.
He's got to gas it, mate. You got to find something, mate. This is your race win, done and dusted. If you don't get it across the line, make the car as wide as possible. Here it is, final corner.
Just barely. Stephen Varga hangs on for the win in race 2. But, geez, that was
now, keep watching him. I'll keep watching him if he keeps going at the moment, my friend. You've got to keep an eye on what's happening to the rest of the field. But I want to see if Vargsy just completely pulls off the side and runs out of the gas. Hey, it's a requirement to do burnouts at the end of the race too, mate. So
absolutely.
You can't bring it back to the start-finish line.
Closer battles a little further back.
He's pulled off. He's out of gas. I think he called it. But he made the line.
Looking forward to chatting to him in just a moment as he joins us.
Hey, is that
in the
scrutiny
booth.
here? Don't you have to bring it back to pit lane?
I don't
And
believe
a test of how many
that's
kilos are left in
horrible.
that gas tank, right,
But-
Jared? Josh, that should be fair.
Troy
Mate.
comes across the line in P16.
Josh should be like, every time you can't take the car back to pit lane, you actually have to drive it back, even in practice or qualifying. Oh, I would be the most hated person in iRacing if I was to enforce that law. But you know what?
Well,
I should enforce that law, Josh, because you know how many times I've seen drivers make mistakes because they can't get their speed limit in the pit lane correctly, or even hit their pit box correctly because they go too quickly because they don't practice it. But anyway, a race is a race.
Gents,
Vargsy got
I
the
hate
job
to interrupt
done.
you. Speaking of
Yes, sir.
Vargsy, we're joined in the
Hey,
booth right now by
Vargsy!
Stephen Varga. Now, Vargs, I want to start off with saying congratulations on the win and welcome back to the comms booth. But I'm jumping straight into the question we really want the answer to. How dry was your fuel tank across the line there, my friend?
I didn't realise till the second last lap.
Whisper
when-
it to me, Vugs. All right,
Oh
yeah.
shit! I'm not going to make it.
No, you're okay. Vugs, tell everybody. Tell them.
And I actually did run out. Oh, he was probably half a second behind me. I'm surprised I still kept it.
Yeah, we were watching that time come down on that last lap, and we had a sneaking suspicion that's what was going on there. And look, I'm most disappointed to know that you're not getting to your celebratory burnouts tonight, but a fantastic win all the same, mate.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your first for the season. How are you finding the Gen 3s?
I like the Gen 2s.
You just won the race of the Gen 3s. You're like, I like the Gen 2s. Come on,
They're
Vugsy.
They're fun, but you miss out on the corner speed. You miss out on the grip. Extra
Gasoline.
In life, some people are never happy, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we have other drivers here at the moment, but
Jason's
remember
freaks.
we're interviewing
Anthony
Vugsy at the
Visma.
moment for the race win. He just won by about a length of a gas tank of the drink that I'm drinking here in a cup of water. But Bugsy, you did get the job done, mate. How does it feel, of course, obviously winning the first season opener here in Season 3 here in the Next Gen Cars? You've done it. You've beaten... I mean, do you even know where NVDK went? I mean, he finished him back in P8. I mean, he's not even
I
in
got
contentions
lucky.
here.
Under the first pit stop, people must have put a lot of less fuel in, and I put in a fair bit. I thought I'd be pretty lucky if I can just stick with him. And he went and pitted, and so did I. And yeah, that was about it. It's always good to get one over Anthony.
Anthony's here too.
Congrats
Go
again.
ahead.
Congrats again, Vugs. Anthony Visma, welcome to Alliance Sim Racing, mate. The
Anthony!
first time we've seen
Woo!
you here with us on broadcast, and
Number
what a
6
showing
is
for
alive.
you here in race number 1, mate. That final lap, how much were you sweating to try and get on the back there?
I was sweating literally. I was every lap wasn't pulling him in. I'm going, geez, he's doing a good job. And then I'm not sure if it was the second last lap or the last lap. I'm going, he's saving fuel, I think, because I caught up to him.
You've gotten 2 tenths per corner, mate. You were catching him.
But no, mate, he's done a really good job, and a lot of our Accelerate guys watched it last season. It was a well-run series and come across really well. So we thought we'd give it a go this season.
And not a bad showing. We're also joined here in the booth by Jason Spriggs from Accelerate, taking out P3 as well. So we'd better welcome you as well, Jason. Congratulations on getting on the podium in your first race here at Alliance Sim Racing.
Hey, Moors. Thank you very much. That's a bit of a surprise for me, to be honest.
Yeah, well, how do you think you found yourself up here in P3? What is it that played out well for you tonight?
I am not sure, actually. I just ran a standard strategy, took the first safety car, and I think I just left about 18 litres needed for the second stop, so that worked out well for me, and I think I was just lucky in the draft to keep up with these fast boys, to be honest. See how we go next. We get into the actual tracks where they can actually pull away from it.
Well, look, be it luck, be it skill, it's ended up in a fantastic result for yourself, for Anthony Visma as well, and Accelerate Sim Racing overall. P2 and P3, a great start to the team points for the season. For the three of you, and I might start with you, Vargsy. What are you finding is the most difficult transition from the Gen 2s to the Gen 3s?
Turning.
Oh,
Turning, just simple as that.
what? Turning?
Turning. Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit more there? Where Josh Harris, to analyze your turning
Just
details.
understeer. You have to get off the gas for it to want to bite into the road. Otherwise, you would just keep understeering to a wall. Some corners are better than others, but turn 4 is a bit tricky.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty evident that that lack of front downforce that we lost when we gave up on Gen 2 and went to Gen 3. And you know, Vargs, it's a really good point. These things, you know, I'm interested to hear what you've got to say, but certainly from my experience driving them, you've got to be so gentle to get them around the track, and steering is one of those things. Like you said, I think that they feel slow in the corners. You know, really got to baby them to get lap time out.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's hear from Anthony Visma, P2. You concur on that one, mate? Is it all about the cornering performance or lack thereof, or is it something else for you?
Oh mate, I'm not getting on with it at all.
I mean, P2 begs to differ.
As you go through the second right-hander, and then you go up the hill, and then there's a left, and then there's a really slight right onto the back straight. A couple times I was behind a car, and it's hardly a right-hand kink, and I steered off the road because I just nearly went straight ahead there because it just wasn't turning at all. And you just got to be really gentle and ease it in and out of the corners. It's just not something that I'm that good at.
I feel like I need to complete the survey here. Jason Spriggs.
Yes,
is it
mate.
cornering for you, or are you finding?
Jason
like
Spriggs
I
in
do?
P3 to let everybody know. We got all the drivers in the chat here because we wanted to
We do.
listen
We've got
to
everyone here tonight.
Jason's here, Steve is
it
here,
turning
Anthony's
for you
here.
as well, or like me, is it throttle control that's your problem?
It's probably both. It's probably trail braking into the corners. You've really got to trail brake hard with this car and getting.
Can you explain to me as a noob, mate, just tuning in, like if I get my girlfriend or my mother or my father or brother or whatever to go trail braking, explain to me what that means for noobs like us.
Basically holding the brake and releasing it all the way to the apex of the corner. So you basically got brake on all the way until you've got the car totally turned to the apex, and then you'll pick up the throttle on the exit. So the old car sort of had more mid-turn for me. You could sort of get on it a lot harder, and you've got a lot more in that middle turn, where this car sort of got to baby it through the middle of the turn a lot more, I'm finding.
We need a foot cam for you showing your pedals to that one there, Jason. But yeah, go ahead. I like that. Thank you. So I feel like I know more about these cars.
And look, guys, I got a question around the racing in these cars. So I really found I loved how hard we can race in them, but I found it so difficult once I did catch someone to get past. So you know, I'm Jason, like you sat there in P3 for a lot of that race. Was that you know, a difficulty in getting past, or was it just, you know, being teammates? You just tucked in there behind Anthony and ran to the line as fast as you could without putting any pressure on?
It was both. I came out with really good tyres, and I think we were all lucky to get through that. When I came out of the pits there, that was pretty hectic. But yeah, if he wasn't my teammate, I would have had to go early on the new tyres. But no, once my tyres went away from me, he's definitely faster, so he just pulled the gap on me, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess for the other guys, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on, you know, what these things are like to pass. You know, we just went through in pretty big detail what it's like just to get a lap time out of them, but you know, it seemed to me tonight watching, there was lots and lots of cars out there that were sticking a nose in on the way into a corner, or maybe had a really good run out of the corner before, but passing seemed to be the big challenge tonight.
Yeah, I didn't pass anyone except for on the start, so I can't comment.
Jason, you had 5 places gained to finish in P3. Who do you mean you didn't pass?
It was all on the start, mate, I think.
Right.
I got passed by Vargs, which was a nice pass. He hit me pretty hard, but no big deal.
This is just to let everybody know in the chat who's speaking, of course. This is Visma. How do you pronounce your name, by the way? Is it Visma?
Visma. I get it all.
Visma. Anthony Visma, number 6 machine. Is it Visma? Just confirm. We're going to get it right, mate. This is the start. First race of the season, and we're going to get it all wrong for the rest of the season. You know what I mean?
Security. Chub Security. His nickname.
You finished P2, as Ed mentioned, of course. We just concluded the conversation, and then Jason Spriggs is up 5. Jason up 5. Anthony, you're up 7, and Bugsy, you're up 2. Stevie was just down the road from you guys. Are up 12, but he couldn't quite get. He's a little foot at the podium there for the 82 machine. But gentlemen, of course, Jared and Josh continue on that, and that Accelerate Racing team and Quantum Racing got the top steps. But Josh, you continue, and Josh is going to analyze you drivers. He's also checking your car to see if it's on weight or not. We know for a fact that Bugsy, your car's out of weight, but all right. Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's as much analysing it as it is watching on enviously. I think you guys did a fantastic job tonight. Really hard cars to drive and some fantastic racing. So, for all the laughing that we do in here about how much you guys struggle, I think that it's a credit to yourselves for the effort that you put in tonight. And I can't wait to be around for the season and get the best seat in the house to watch you guys, because I had so much fun tonight. It's not funny.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the broadcast. It was good.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. It's good to be involved in a new series, and looking forward to getting into it.
All right, guys. This is it. Your opportunity right now. Start of a race. Who is going to win the championship right now? This is it. You can lock and deal it right now. We're not going to take books and bookies, whatever, because we don't promote gambling, but just for fun and keeps, and we can look back at this one and say, hey, you predicted the right driver at the end of the season. Who do you think is going to win the championship right now, seeing we've started race 1?
I reckon Van der Kran's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
That's Jason's going to lock in Vanny. All right.
Same.
All right. Bugsy.
Same.
Bugs gonna really okay. You guys were gonna lock in somebody else to beat you. I would have. You can book. You can bet yourself. It's fine. You don't have to feel too intimidated about that one. Bugsy. All right.
That's hilarious.
Van. All right. Over to who else there? So, Bismarck.
I'd like to put as much pressure as I can
On
on
himself. Yep.
on the guy that I think.
Bismarck. All right. Yeah, you go back yourself, mate. How are you going to win an interview for a job going, I want the other guy next to me to get the job? No, you want to win the job, mate. Good on you. All right. This is going to pick himself. All right. Now, obviously, to the commentary team there, Josh Harris, who you got your money on? Oh, anybody in the chat, too. Give us your shout-outs. Josh?
Look, I think without sitting on the fence too hard, but any of these guys that are in the room.
Oh, my God. You're sitting fence.
It's too early.
Pick a number.
Give me another week.
Pick a driver. No.
At the end of next week, and I'll give you a driver.
Yeah, I'll give you a driver on the penultimate race if you'd like to pick. That's not going to help, mate. Come on, Josh. Pick one right now. Come on. Just pick it in.
Look, I'll throw a bit of pressure out there. And I'll go for Vargsy. He's gonna.
All right.
Fucking cry.
Bugsy. All right. That's good on you, mate. There you go. Picked. Jared. Summarize it all up. The boss man behind the pictures, of course, in the Simple Racing Broadcasting Network.
I'm gonna say coming into race 1. I'll be honest. I hadn't looked at the entry list for a little while. Been probably a couple of weeks since I checked who was actually on the entry list, and was looking forward to seeing the battle between Vargs and Van der Kran again. And then I saw Anthony Visma show up on the list, and I went, "Oh, okay. We're going to have 3 very, very quick drivers out there battling it out all season. I can't split them at this point; it's too early. But those are the 3 I'm keeping the eye on. 2 of them.
No, one. Pick one, boss man.
Look, you know what?
It's not a trifecta here, mate. It's a solo pick for the race win.
I'm going to take the boss man's prerogative here and say, no, I'm under no obligation to report to you on this one, because I'm going to hold it over till next week, just like that. Gentlemen, thank you again, of course, for dropping by to chat to us. It's great to get your insight on the new cars and how they're handling. Thank you so much for speaking with us, and of course, a fantastic result for all 3 of you. Stephen Varga, P1, Anthony Fasmar, P2, and Jason Spriggs, P3 in race number 2 here at Watkins Glen. Gentlemen, congrats, and go celebrate with your teams, hey?
Thanks, boys.
Thank you. Good night.
So we'll look to wrap that one up there. Biggles, Josh, round 1 done and dusted. Alliance Sim Racing. We've got a little bit of a break until round 2 now, not back until January 7th. So a little way off, but talk me through it. What's your favourite track in this upcoming season? What are you looking forward to most in terms of what you've seen tonight versus what tracks we've got up our sleeve yet to come?
Look, I'm gonna be incredibly predictable, I reckon, and surely V8s around the Nürburgring is one of the most one of the most impressive. But I'm also going to put my little Aussie flag and wave it around and say that I can't wait to see these cars on both Sandown and Phillip Island to round out the series back home in Australia on tracks that they absolutely deserve to be on.
There you go. Bill's over to you, my friend.
Josh, mate, True Blue. You said Phillip Island. Everybody goes Australia, Bathurst. Yeah, it's a great track. But Phillip Island, mate, yeah. You throw out too much, mate. You're straight into the Tasman Sea. So that's what I like about Phillip Island. It's a motorbike track, and they're going to throw some cars around it. Yeah, I like this. This is a racing drive. I like having Josh Harrop up in the booth there, my friend.
We'll have him back, I reckon.
I have to agree. Phillip Island, well, no, I'm going Phillip over the rest of the field in that one. But
there you go. I'm gonna
Jared.
put my commentator's hat on here, guys. I think we've got some amazing tracks. I absolutely agree. Phillip Island's a fantastic way to wrap up this particular season, but the one I'm looking forward to, believe it or not, round 8 at the Red Bull Ring on the 18th of February. And I'll tell you why. Turn 1 at the Red Bull Ring is going to give us some of the best vision I reckon we've ever had on these broadcasts, because that is going to be absolutely chaotic.
Look, if
Jared, that's a cheat. Yeah, go ahead, Josh. It's a cheat code. It's like 12 corners, but go ahead, Jared.
I was just going to say, at the risk of putting the whole calendar here, because it is a fantastic looking calendar, if we want to talk about vision and how these things are going to look, round 5, 28th of January, the end of the traditional Australia Day weekend at Belle Isle, on a genuine street course.
Yeah, that'll test your CPU and GPU. You're right on that one.
Anything more traditional supercars than huge amounts of horsepower, no grip, and concrete walls everywhere? So,
yeah,
if the guys thought they had if they thought they had their work cut out for them today, Belle Isle, that is absolutely going to put them to the test.
Yeah, remember, Josh? I mean, Jared, I know you love. We all love the Spielberg Ring, right? The Red Bull Ring. But it's out in the middle of the mountain. We're not singing the sound of here to the sound of music. No, you'll be hearing the sound of concrete if you get all pearl shaped, don't you? There, Josh Harrod and I'm swinging on the fence right there with Josh on that one. Bell, oof, ring.
It's going to be a massive
your ears will be ringing if you're hitting that concrete barrier at 200 miles an hour, right, gentlemen?
100%,
Absolutely.
100%. Look, and you've said it beautifully, Josh. This season is absolutely cracking in terms of the sites and the tracks that we've got lined up. And frankly, can't wait to bring it all to you. We'll bring this night to a close here, of course. So from everyone at Simple Racing Broadcast, a massive thank you to everyone who's stuck with us and checked this racing out tonight. Biggles, Josh, thanks so much for joining me here in the booth. Looking forward to having you back again next week.
Look, thank you so much for having me, Jared. It's been fantastic, and I can't wait to talk to everyone again soon.
Jared, you're the boss man. What? Yeah, go ahead, mate. Yeah, you didn't ask me to speak. I speak.
Tonight, mate.
Thank you very much, Line Sim Racing, the V8 Supercar Gen 3's Season 3, and it's wrapped up with Race 1, and of course, it's all been done and dusted. Bugsy got the job. 686 on the dial. Quantum, we have to check that computer at the moment there. Quantum may be the acceleration that you need here to win. But it's only race 1. Watkins Glen, done and dusted. The heel, the 2, the boot is there and done. Jared, I'm running out of words. Over to you.
Still plenty to go. But look, I'd like to thank, of course, as always, the sponsors for this season, getting us all underway with a cracking start. Quantum Tint Solutions, AA West Automotive, and of course our partners 24/7 Sim Services and Nicol Photography, bringing it all to you. On behalf of everyone here at Simple Racing Broadcast, thank you so much for tuning into the Alliance Sim Racing V8 Supercars series. Season 3 is underway. Can't wait to see you again early in January. Until then, stay safe, look after each other, and we will see you back on track very, very soon. Goodbye for now.